So really excited.
Excellent. Right, I think we can now move over to the game, so we'll get that going. Obviously, as we've said, we have got Ouroboros on attack first, coming into Chalet. This is map 1 of CCS EU, Week 2 Playday 3. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we're going to be looking forward to a fantastic map, so don't go anywhere. We have got Ouroboros on attack first, as I said. So we are playing with the new rules. So this is 5 attacking phases followed by 5 defensive phases. And then obviously switch sides. So interesting. Corey going Ash there, as you predicted.
Yeah, Corey taking the Ash, trying to get those frags out again. I think that lineup pretty much speaks quite well to us, to the operators that we suggested. Maybe Mad Mouse switching up there on Twitch, but Twitch's F2 is a fantastic gun. What about the bomb site choice straight off the bat from Forze?
Taking a strong choice there, yeah, with something a little bit different.
As I said, not something that you see every day. I mean, this is regarded as one of the worst sites in sort of, if you're talking about ranked and stuff like that, it's not a very high pick. Very easy to plant and jump in the window and use a glass, and you've got a lot of advantage with the helipad and stuff like that outside. So interested to see how they hold this one.
Exactly. You see one of the big problems there as we look over site A, and that's that double window, single door and single window all looking directly into site. And now, I know you can't always get a site. It's very rare that you get a site without any direct external entrances like that. But where you've got 3 in that, it sort of reminds me similar of why kitchen isn't used on cafe, if that makes sense.
It's the same scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just, you're so close to just jumping in through a window, getting a plant down and then watching it from 2 miles away with your ACOG scopes. So, yeah, definitely interesting to see how they manage that. Peter currently taking up a position there, looking into library, so obviously looking for those roamers, which you would expect to see, and Vitalin is upstairs on the Jaeger.
It is worth saying, though, that it does look like they may have outsmarted them a little bit with the pick here, due to the fact they've got 2 hard breaches. So it looks like they could have been expecting a snowmobile or a trophy dining. And it just seems a little bit like you've not got that Glide, you've not got that Capital, you've no operator there with smokes. I don't think so. You're gonna struggle to get the plant down. I think it could be a good choice from Forze early on, just to get it out of the way and maybe pick up a quick win. But we've got Castle there, who's going to be playing on the stairs. Mute is going to be tucked up inside the library, and everything a little bit cagey in the first minute and a half of the round.
So yeah, we've got 3 playing upstairs there, obviously trying to, there's a lot of verticality possible. Peter picking up the first kill onto Vitalin, so that's one of those roamers just moved out now. Corey starting to push with Ash and just pressuring that mirror as well, so I think that leaves us with possibly 2 upstairs. No, we've got Mute as well, so defending heavily from upstairs here, so it would be interesting to see Joe picking up the kill, getting the team captain there for Forze, so that's Razor down, but we get not really a refrag, but Corey gets taken down, bringing us to 3-on-4 in favour of Ouroboros. Maybe time to start pressure in sight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you see 3 guys in sight and 3 guys off site. Sorry, you've got to think what are the chances of pressure in sight a little bit more. But they've now got the upstairs control that they wanted. WTG there getting a beautiful C4 kill onto Peter. So that's going to be the thermite off the board. And that's going to take us all even at 3 versus 3. But yeah, they seem to have established fairly good upstairs control at this minute, Ouroboros, and it's just about working it down. But there's 30 seconds left in the round. We've got Mock in there picking up a kill onto Heisenberg, so that's going to be Hibana out of the picture. Hibana's job now probably largely done with getting the hatches open, although never good to lose a man at this stage. So that's taking us to 2 versus 3, 2 versus 2 as Mad Mouse picks up a kill onto Mocking. Mad Mouse keeping his form from last week, as we can see there, picking up a couple of early frags. 10 seconds to go.
Looking at getting the diffuser down now. Joe on Buck, but moving in. Jackie gets the kill onto Joe just to stop that with a headshot. There's 1 left on the board. Mad Mouse gets the final kill. So that is a defender win on the first round.
And I think that is purely down to shock. Without a doubt, that's a shock pick, and Forze have done fantastic to come out of that on top.
Yeah, I mean, Ouroboros losing because they didn't get the diffuser down, essentially. I think they just, ran out of time there. Mad Mouse coming in with the final kill of the round, but not enough to do the business because there were still defenders on the board. So just losing out on that there. I mean, 4 kills each, so, you know, not a cagey start by any means, but like you say, I think it just took quite a while for Joe. I think Joe got into game room there and was getting the plant down with about 15 seconds to go. So just took them a little bit long, I think, to pressure site. Now, I know that site is very defensible from upstairs, and they were focused on getting those roamers cleared out, but maybe just left it a little bit too late in the round.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it speaks to the kind of operator choice as well. I think Thermite on that side is largely redundant, as long as you've got the Hibana for the hatches. But yeah, a bit of a difficult one, but we're seeing a heavy investment upstairs on this defense of Trophy and Kitchen. We've got plenty of reinforcements, loads of castle barricades, some barbed wire. We've got a mirror playing up there. So they're really looking to hold this site firm upstairs, obviously expecting Ouroboros to heavily push that, which is the norm for taking, you know, Trophy and Kitchen.
Yeah. We've got Corey on the Ash there, just moving in from the game room side, and we've got Joe as well on the book. Pulse just lying down there. Don't know if he's actually had them on his heart scanner or not. Oh, but they just get the view through the barricade. Joe not managing to get the kill. Heisenberg, meanwhile, picks up the first kill onto Razor, so that's... And Peter gets the kill onto WTG, taking that Pulse off the board. So that leaves us now quickly in a 5v3 in favour of Ouroboros, and I'm very impressed with that play against Pulse there. Missed the early shots through the barricade, but they've pinched him and pressured from multiple angles and just got the job done there. Yeah,
definitely. Mad Mouse there getting a couple of the mirror windows down with his shot drone as well, so that renders the upstairs defence you know, much more difficult and a little bit harder to do. Open mirror can be tougher than a you know, anything. An open mirror can be tougher than no mirror at all most of the time, so that's not very good at all. But Smoke getting taken off the board within the first sort of 20 seconds, that was a big impact kill. But Mad Mouse there picking up another kill onto Mocking, so that will be mirror off the board and upstairs control, I think, established for Ouroboros without losing a man, and you know, within the first minute and a half. So great map control. Joe picking up another kill there onto Vitalin. That's going to be Jaeger out of the picture. And the final kill there coming in hot. Heisenberg takes out Jackie. And a very quick, convincing round for Ouroboros.
Was that flawless?
Yeah, flawless round.
Yeah, I think it was.
They all got a kill. It was...
Team ace in that case.
Yeah,
very good very good play from Ouroboros. Like you say, they just got upstairs. It was pretty much the same plan from them as last time, I think, because the bomb site was on the same level, so they decided they wanted upstairs control. They've gone in and got that very quickly this time instead, and I think that's basically what's left them in a better position than last time. They've gone in, they've got those couple of kills, I think, in the first 20-30 seconds. We had Smoke and Pulse go, and from there it seemed like a little bit of a slippery slope just for Ouroboros to start just becoming dominant upstairs, and then applied that pressure directly to site, finishing off Castle at the end there.
Yeah, without a doubt. One thing that is worth mentioning about Ouroboros is the operator lineup's barely changed there. I think Peter switched to Thatcher as opposed to his Thermite, and that may be because they've predicted that they're going to go to Bar and Gaming again. But I think that Forze are a little bit not reckless, but maybe they got away with it at Bar and Gaming once and they won't get away with it again. I don't know. I don't think that it's the site I'd be picking straight off the rip second time. Although obviously they did win the first round, so that's got to play into it, and the confidence there. Jaeger investing all of his ADSs upstairs in library. Obviously terrified of getting grenaded out there.
Heavy investment from Vitalin up there, but that can also go to show the importance that they're placing on that library hold. And if you remember, Vitalin went out of that quite early last time. He was one of the first frags, as I remember, and it didn't really impact on them too much. They still managed to hold Ouroboros up for long enough to deny the plant. Jackie getting in there and getting the kill. I'm talking about the first round still. Not in this one. Jackie's still on the board, Joe on the board. But yeah, managed to get in and just stop that plant. And now Vitalin getting into an engagement. Meanwhile, Peter picks up the headshot onto Razor. But Vitalin just trying to hold off Joe. You can see there he just puts shots onto him. And he's doing a better job this time of just holding them out of there. And the mirror gets dropped. And it's time for the defenders just to rethink in that area at least and start moving on out.
Yeah, the beauty with the castle barricades as an attacker in there is you can get in quite easily, and you've not really got, you know, any sort of worry about someone running in and picking up a quick kill. But Razor getting picked up straight away again. There's first blood within the first, you know, minute of the round. that's not something we were used to seeing last time. We were used to seeing playing much more of a long game, picking out the kills later on. So
unfortunately, we haven't managed to see the kill either time. It's been off screen. So we don't. Is it because he's late in the preparation? Is it because he's taking a risk? We don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure we may do in future. But Vitaline just getting the kill there, so that brings us to 4v4, taking Hibana off the board. Always an important operator to get off the board. Great slaying capability. Both, although the Bearing 9 is, obviously going to be seeing a nerf at some point. Still a great slaying capability.
And it seems as though Ouroboros have pretty much established their upstairs control there. Joe going to miss that C4 very narrowly from Mocking as he's opening up the floor, but he seems to have a good angle on where he is, but he doesn't manage to pick up the kill through the joists in the floor. It's always a tough one shooting, the wrong way down those parallel joists. Can always be quite tricky, but I think that Ouroboros are going to have to start looking about a plan here. It's even man count, 4 versus 4, although Joe is pretty lit. Doesn't appear to have much health left at all, probably around 20. Investing some claymores pretty heavily there for the run out. But Forze are doing everything they need to do here. They're just playing the clock. They don't need to be moving. They don't need to be making any noise. They're just sort of sitting tight, holding their angles and waiting to pressure this plant. As I've said that, it looks like Joe is getting it down, and he is. So we're going to see the plant go down there. Peter then picking up the rotation kill there, covering the angle, picking up the kill onto WGG. So that's Mirror off the board. Corey there picking up his first kill onto Mocking, followed quickly by a second onto Vitalin, and Joe picking up the final kill onto Jackie for an attacker win.
Excellent play there from Ouroboros this time. Now, I think it was plain to see there, Medics captured it brilliantly for us. The difference was, if you remember, Joe was planting in the same spot last time. Jackie was able to just move into game room, come round the door. He'd obviously heard the plant going down, picked up the frag. Nice and easy. This time they had Peter just at a distance outside, watching for that exact angle. He had to hit his shots, but he was sat waiting for it. So he knew the plant was going down. He was just baiting that defender in through the door, and he managed to pick up the kill, followed by, in quick succession, by 2 from Corey upstairs, as the defenders maybe started to not turn tail, but to just change their attention and start returning to site and thinking about that retake. Corey took advantage of that, picked up a good couple of kills, and that pretty much closed off the round with Joe picking up the final one there. So that brings us to 2-1 in favour of Ouroboros on the attack.
Forze choosing to go for Trophy and Kitchen once again, and similar to last time, investing pretty heavily upstairs. We're seeing pretty much the same operator picks as well. I think Ouroboros have been pretty solid in theirs. Only Peter swapping out for Thatcher last round maybe. And again, a couple of small changes on Forze. You can see there the kills on Ouroboros are very well spread out. A lot of guys on 3. I think maybe it was Mad Mouse on 4 at the top. Didn't get quite a chance to see. But moving into this round, and let's see if Razor can survive more than a minute this time. He's been very unfortunate these last 2 rounds, getting picked off pretty early, and that's going to really hurt you as a team, especially as, that smoke player. I think he wasn't smoked last round, but the round before he certainly was. And to get picked off that early as smoke really is a tough do.
Yeah, losing smoke early on is never good. But then again, if you're going to lose anybody in the beginning, assuming that Razor as captain takes on that IGL role, not always necessarily the worst thing. If somebody has to die, then at least you can then sit back onto your cams and start thinking about controlling your team. And it's probably the largest contribution you're going to get from anybody who isn't currently alive in the round. So, but he's definitely done better this time. He's kept all his health. We're now a minute in, doing very well. And you just saw Mirror managing to get that Twitch drone before the Mirror got dropped there. So I'm not sure if that was Mad Mouse's second drone or not, but it looks for now at least like that Mirror will stay intact, and she is really slowing down that push from Library.
That Mirror is crucial for the push, and it really makes it a much more difficult corridor and room to attack, especially with the castle barricades. Mirror there using a C4 just to blow that barricade open, and Mad Mouse on the other side of it, not really challenging anything at the minute, just sort of holding an angle. He's lost quite a bit of his health in the process. Vitalin there playing out of office, and he's going to get heavily pressured. Heisenberg there picking up a kill onto Jackie, so that's going to be castle gone. So that's the first stage of this upstairs defense being taken apart. Peter picking out Mocking, so that's Mocking as the Mirror. He's going to be out of the picture. So Ouroboros are doing all they need now, and they're just slowly picking off and slowly picking their angles. Mad Mouse there picking up another kill onto Vitalin from the window as he was preoccupied with Ash. So that leads us to 5 versus 2, and at this stage, with a minute left on the clock, you really want to hope that Ouroboros are able to, execute on this, and they just take the time, do the drone work, get the due diligence done, and then pick it up, get a plant down.
Great pinch set up from Ouroboros there. As you say, pressure in from Library. They've got Vitalin in office. They know he's there. And Mad Mouse just comes in from the window, who is now going to be pressuring Bandit as well. But does he know he's there? WTG unable to move up the stairs because of that Claymore. But he has to dip and live to fight another day. We've got Razor playing just in the corridor between Kitchen and Trophy there. Gets the kill onto Peda as the Thermite, so that might just start the defence here. The 2v4, they've got a lot to do. Even more now as Joe picks up the kill onto Razor, but WTG gets the kill onto Heisenberg before Joe closes it out with the second kill there onto WTG, and just finishing out the round for Ouroboros. 3-1 is the round count, and another, I would say, fairly clinical push from Ouroboros there with the pinchers that they set up.
Definitely, I think that the way that Ouroboros pushed that and the way that they took upstairs control without losing anybody was testament in itself to how well they pushed. You can see there on Forze, there's a distinct lack of kills. We've got WTG there picking up 3, but the rest of the guys only managing 1, and that's what's going to be hurting them. They need to be getting these frags, and they need to be getting these trades. It's like I said in the in the sort of pre-game, the trades aren't coming through, and although they're setting up to defend upstairs rather well, especially that round, they've set up fantastically. All the utilities right, everything's correct, but they're not able to get the trades, and that's what's hurting them. It's not the lack of, because the best time to get a kill is when someone's just killed someone because they've got low ammo, they're distracted, they've just got a kill, so catch them off guard. But Forze aren't able to do that at the minute, and they just don't seem to be picking up those refrags, and that's what's hurting them. But yeah, definitely, I think that the way that Ouroboros attacked that last round was in such a way as they just didn't lose a player, and that's through the positioning that they allow themselves. And it's the drone work, the communication, and the way that they're pushing it. They're pushing it from every angle. They're getting Library, then they're going around to the windows at bathroom and office and master. The pressure in the windows, the pressure in office balcony, and all of a sudden, it almost does itself. You can, if you catch someone in a crossfire, someone can't look both ways, and someone's going to get the kill.
Yep. So we are going to see our first snowmobile hold. It looks like they're going to probably try to apply some vertical pressure. We've still got Joe with Buck on the board, so he's probably going to be trying to get into that Great Hall area near Fireplace and just opening up the floor above them and see if he can take out the bandits. If the bandits are on Garage Door, although not much pressure being applied to Garage Door yet. We're still droning quite heavily. We've got 3 drones on the go there at least. So, but moving into very top floor, we've got Ash, Corey on Ash, and we've got Mad Mouse on Twitch. So they're looking to clear out that top floor. Buck is with them now. He's opening the hatches, and they're going to look to get down to first floor and start opening up above sight, I'd imagine.
Again, they've taken upstairs control very well. It's not the norm to maybe take full upstairs control on a snowmobile. Often the Garage Door gets a lot of the focus, and Corey there just narrowly missing out on a kill onto Vitalin, but the stairs there doing him no favours, losing a little bit of health in the process. And Peter there picking up a kill onto Jackie, so that's going to be mute. That angle was very tight. And especially with those railings, those kills are super hard to get. Anyone that's shot through a railing will know what I'm on about there. But the floor's getting open in Great Room, and that's just going to mean that people on site are going to have to move around a little bit. The mirror's just been opened, so mirror's been forced out of position, and all of a sudden, you're not defending in the area that you wanted to defend. And I think they've gone pretty turtle on this, and they've not really had much roam. But it looks like WTG may be on a bit of a slow roam there, but I'm not too sure where he is at the moment. Just got a glimpse of him, and that's the first kill for WTG. So he came through, and he came through kitchen and dining, up basement hallway stairs, and managed to pick up Joe. So that's the Buck off the board. Buck's done his job largely now, and most of the rooms open. Along with the garage, they've been able to take the bandits out and stop the bandit from feeling comfortable bandit tricking due to the floor being open. So now with the Garage Door open, the floor open, the defenders are going to be limited as to where they can go. and we're going to wait for this plan. But they're Vitlin narrowly missing out that kill. Corey there picking up, I think, his 3rd kill onto Vitlin there in blue corridor.
Yep, WTG definitely with more work to do here. I just thought that might have a bit of a mental impact. Heisenberg getting the kill 4v2 now. I thought that that roam kill might just have a little bit more of a mental impact on the attackers, because then, you know, where is the bandit? Where's he gone? But WTG getting a 2nd now. So definitely slow work, but he is on site now. Out goes the Nitro. Doesn't manage to get the kill, but does clear the line of sight for him. But Mad Mouse steps in, gets the final kill as they were looking to manoeuvre towards that drop diffuser, and that gets us into a 4-1 for Ouroboros.
WTG there definitely trying his best to bring that round back into his favour a little bit. I think he'd probably decided to go on the flank while Book had just started opening up the floor, but just because of how much map control Ouroboros had, Joe as Book felt very comfortable opening up the whole floor and didn't really slow down for anything. So by the time that WTG got up there, he was just a little bit too late. He did manage to get the kill, which was impactful. However, the damage had almost been done. I think Peter and Razor there trading each other out. As the Razor as the smoke there trading out with Peter straight away, killing each other off. So very close round, really. And I think that one definitely could have gone Forze's way. But we are now going to see our first defensive round for Ouroboros. And they have chosen to go for probably the more stereotypical and obvious pick of trophy and dining room. This is something that we'd be a little bit more expectant of and a bit more familiar with. So not really trying to pull out anything too fancy, not going for an offside pick, if you will. Let's see what they can do.
Interesting play from WTG. It was almost a shame for him, really. Like you say, he got that slow roam kill and he got another one further into the round. But as you say, because they went turtle, he was left largely on his own as a roamer there. And with 4 players taking control of the top 2 floors fairly quickly from Ouroboros, made it very difficult for him to operate. I think he did well in the circumstances. It would have been good maybe just to see him get another kill on the roam. And as I was commenting on, that mental game just starts to kick in then, where, you know, where is this bandit? He's got 2 of us now. Is he going to get any more of us? But moving on, we've got Ouroboros on defence. We've got a fairly similar lineup, except, in fact, we are seeing 2 operators that I don't think we've really seen too much of so far. We've got Legion and Ella on the board. Ella always an interesting one. I think she's still very powerful. Obviously, the recoil nerfs hit her pretty hard and have definitely brought her pick rate down, but you still don't want to get into a close range engagement with Ella for sure. Interesting to see.
Ella's Grismot mines, although they've been tweaked to as powerful as ever, but Sister battle there, and WTG coming out on top, taking out Ella. A bit of Caster's Curse there from Mad Mouse. Apologies. First time we've seen her Zafira as well, I believe, but very effective she is. So Forze are going to be pretty much... Oh, Mocking there, picking up Joe. So that is Book versus Book main. Mocking taking him out there. I think he was maybe upstairs in library. So upstairs control now fairly well established for Forze. And they're going to take their time opening up master bedroom, maybe open up the hatch. Although we have got Heisenberg there playing downstairs in garage on garage stairs. And he's going to do a little bit of a rotate. Doesn't manage to spot the drone at his feet. He's obviously a man on a mission somewhere.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to know if that drone was being watched or not. I know all attackers are still alive, so maybe not. WTG getting in and picking his 2nd kill of the round up onto Heisenberg there, so that leaves us in a 5v2. Mocking gets Corey, leaving us 5v1 for Peter. Mocking moves in, gets the final kill through the hatch, and that is that. That is the first round for Forze onto the board for their attacks.
Fantastic round from Forze. I think Mocking there picking up 3 kills and WTG picking up the other 2. So very good between them 2. They're obviously at the top of their leaderboards, 7 and 4 and 4 and 5. So still struggling for frags on Forze and in Jackie and Vitlin. Getting the job done elsewhere, no doubt, with support and utility and good call outs, but a couple more kills perhaps, just to increase this to continue this momentum that Forze just are picking up now. First attacking win is always massive. It really does do something for you, because obviously the way that the game's played now, 5 attack and 5 defense, it really is a little bit like you get on a bit of a roll in defense, and if you're winning, that's great, but if you're losing, it can be really difficult to break that. If you start your first attacking round with a win, then, chances are you're going to go on and do it again, because Ouroboros have chosen to defend exactly the same objective despite losing. They've not decided to change.
Oh, no, did you see that? Legion putting down the impact grenade has actually taken himself to half health. He's taken Joe to less than half, and he's taken some health off Mira. So that's the triple threat there, with the impact grenade going down. So that... I think we've almost essentially got an operator off the board. We've got over 100 HP lost there out of the 500 on the team. So that's definitely going to come into this. If they lose this defence quite quickly, I think they're going to be looking at that as part of the reason, and quite a rookie mistake, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think the rotation in the prep phase is always a dangerous time. You almost need to get your risk assessment out and make sure that everyone's signed on and been briefed, because it doesn't, things like that can happen. And like you say, there's an operator's worth of health there off the board, and that is really going to affect you in gunfights. Joe's only probably a couple of bullets there, so he's going to have to be really smart about how he plays his life now. And I wouldn't have been surprised if they'd have sort of rotated back down to OBJ and just said, look, I'm just going to hold an angle and try and pick up a kill that way. But ever the fighters fighting on, and they're still going to be upstairs. And it looks like we've got plenty of drone work going on. Mad Mouse there just hiding near the great room fireplace. Peter there on main stairs. So Peter there not really playing his mirrors. The attacking team doesn't have a twitch, so the mirrors are going to be pretty safe, I imagine. But Joe there playing the mirrors pretty heavily, maybe due to his lack of hit points. But he is going to be challenging someone at the double door, and it does appear that they maybe have one on repel and Jackie out there just crouched. But Vitlin picking up the first kill onto Peter, so that's going to be Mirror off the board. So again, Forze continuing this dominance on attack, getting the first kill there. And quick engagement there, and that's what we were talking about the low health. Jackie there picking up Joe, and Corey taking out straight away for Jackie, and WTG picking up Heisenberg. But you could see there that Joe literally was 2 bullets, and that's the difference between the impact grenade and not. Vitlin there, he's definitely knows where Mad Mouse is and manages to pick him up. So Corey has got it all to do. He's in a 1 versus 4, and he gets into his first engagement with Vitlin, as the Ash, and Vitlin manages to get him out. I feel like there's a lot of opposing numbers getting onto each other here. We've seen the Book main killing the Book main, the Ash main killing the Ash main. They're definitely picking the man and sticking with him. But another great round there from Forze, bringing it to 4-on-3. So that just goes to show how quickly it can run away with you. Ouroboros moved into this as into this defensive stage with a 5-1 lead. All of a sudden, it's 4-3. We're nearly all fair, and Forze are picking up the kills. Everyone's picking up the kills now. Razor there with 2, Mocking and Vitlin both on 4, Jackie on 2, and WTG on 8.
Interesting to see from WTG coming in, obviously replacing Intik, who is somebody who we saw last week. Usually is going to be one of the fraggers for Forze, so they definitely need a WTG to come in and pick up his share of the kills, which he definitely is doing so far. Very, very effective. As you say, very good push again from Forze there. Made it very difficult. The early, as I suggested, the early impact didn't help things. Joe on 2 shots. We had Mad Mouse down in great hole near the fireplace on 2 shots at a push, and Vital in finishing him off towards the end. So definitely more care needed, but it would appear that everybody is going to make, I don't want to speak 5 seconds too quickly, but it appears everybody's going to make it through the prep phase with all their HP intact this time.
Always good to see. And Ouroboros there rightly switching it up and choosing to defend downstairs in Snowmobile. So obviously they've lost upstairs twice. They're going to switch it up and see if they can keep them out of snow. But unfortunately, we've got a disconnect there from Heisenberg. But we are going to carry on for the time being. WTG on the Zephyr, managing to push Bandit off his Bandit trick, as Razor there manages to get it open and get his charge down. So unfortunately, Joe not able to get a Bandit trick off that time, and the garage door open within the first 30 seconds, which is fantastic going, and it just goes to show how dominant Forze are at the moment, and especially with this man advantage that they've got, I would expect them to fully take advantage of this situation.
That's it. It's not always how you want to do it, but as and when it does happen, sometimes you've just got to, take it as a blessing, move on, and make sure you get the round. That's the big thing. If Ouroboros can come here, pick this up and go to match point. Having been 1 down from the beginning of the round, that is going to hit Forze hard. So they need to make sure they get this one here. But Mad Mouse saying that evens things up by taking out that Hibana. Razor manages to get a kill onto Corey, bringing us to 4v3, bringing them the man advantage back. But Hibana is off the board, and that leaves us with Mirror, Bandit and Legion to hold the tide and just see if they can hold out on this round. 1 minute 38 to go, and they have got it all to do.
Yeah, I really like this defence from Ouroboros. I imagine that it was something that they planned while they envisioned having 5, but they're definitely making it work for what it is, playing upstairs in office, etc. But they're vitally managing to pick out Mad Mouse with the Ash charge. So, Mad Mouse just getting a bit overwhelmed there, and I think that speaks to the man advantage. And Forze there are going to be picking up pretty much map control aside from sight. And with garage door open and hatches open as well, the defenders are going to be left with very little, in terms of a safe haven in the objective.
Beautiful use of the Ash charge, to be fair. It's, to open that wall, obviously only 2 of them, so usually use more sort of objective base, but he must have had some good comms or some good information from droning. Oh, Razor just getting the kill onto Joe, leaving us in a 1v4 there. Peda now on his own. WTG moves in, gets the kill onto Peda, takes the mirror out, and that leaves us at 4-all. And we will be heading into a rehost, I believe, so that we can get that 5th player back for Ouroboros. What do you think so far, X?
What do I think? I think that Ouroboros have suffered the sort of fate that a lot of teams suffer, in that you do very well to start with, and you're dominant, you control the map, you're winning your rounds. I mean, don't forget, they came out of their attacking phase 4-1. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that is their map as well. So you would expect it. So, but obviously, defense is easy to prepare for than attack. So I'd like to be seeing Ouroboros picking up some more defensive wins, but I just think they've lost that initial momentum that they had. I don't know what it is. They came out really strong. They were hitting all the shots. They were communicating well. They were pushing things fantastically. Obviously, they lost the first round, but after that, they went on a streak. Managed to pick up 4 in a row. However, then it's switched. They've gone onto the defense, and now they've managed to lose 4 rounds in a row, bringing us to 3 rounds in a row. So that brings us into the 4v4 that we're faced with right now. And I don't know what it is about these teams, but you do see it quite a lot where teams go up in the early stages, and I don't know if they get a little bit complacent. I don't know if they stop doing things. I don't know if they run out of ideas, because don't forget, this 5 defenses in a row and 5 attacks in a row. You've got to have 5 different ideas there, because these guys are going to pick up on player tendency very quickly. And if you're doing the exact same thing every single time, you're going to get called out for it. And all of a sudden, someone's going to sit where you've been entering for the past 4 times, and they're going to take you out early doors because they know that's where you like to sit. So I think it speaks to maybe not having enough ideas, but trying to mix it up enough. I think you've got to be able to mix it up enough with this 5-on-5 off.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you say, the big thing here is going to be, how do Ouroboros manage this situation whereby they have now just lost 3 rounds very quickly. I know they were dominant on attack, so then Forze come back and, return the favour and are dominant on attack. But Ouroboros' map choice, I think this rehost might not be too unfortunate for them. Yes, it probably cost them that last round there, cost them the opportunity to maybe get to 5-3. But if this can just stop the bleeding for them, if it can just slow things down, let them gather the thoughts, sometimes these 3-minute rounds in Siege just move so quickly that it can be very difficult. Like you said, when you get onto particularly defensive losing streak, nothing you can do is right, and it's very, very difficult to change that on the fly. So this few minutes break might just work in favour of Ouroboros.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ouroboros will come out of this stronger for the break. It breaks up Forze's momentum as well. And I mean, we've often talked about it, that it's not all, and this isn't to take anything away from either team. This is just a bit of an observation, but it's not that you have got the momentum as the winning side who's winning the rounds back to back to back. Personally, I think sometimes it's that the team that's losing hasn't got the momentum. And what I mean by that is that they've really got nothing, that everything they do is wrong. Obviously, they've just suffered a player drop out to a rehost. So if you're Ouroboros at the minute, you're thinking the world's against you. You've lost 3 rounds on the bounce. You've lost your man. So that's basically made you lose the last round. And all of a sudden, in the round before that, you were struggling because someone took a load of impact nade damage. So everything seems to be happening for the worst at the minute. But I think the break will do wonders for them, and they'll switch that round and come out much stronger.
Let's see, we are moving back into Chalet. Current score is 4-all on the round. And I think, looking at it,
So Ouroboros going to be hitting the defense, and they're going to choose Kitchen Trophy. So they have been unsuccessful defending Kitchen Trophy, and they're not bringing the mirror this time, which is interesting. So maybe not going to invest so much upstairs, although I do believe we will see a couple of them playing upstairs just to slow the attackers a little bit. But very similar lineup from the attacking team, and that's something that we've seen has been pretty solid. It's nice to not have Lion in, because you don't see him, so you do see the really good combinations, like the Book and the Ash combination, and there's a Fear thrown in as well. Forze there have got plenty of soft destruction capability and plenty of hard destruction capability. They've gone full destruction, if you will, and that makes it interesting to see. Are they really going to try and open everything up, or are these guys choosing these operators because they really enjoy playing them? I think time will tell on that one. But out of the preparation phase now, and all health intact.
Excellent news. As you say, interesting to see a lineup whereby the entirety of the utility revolves around destruction. We don't have a Thatcher, we don't have a Twitch, we don't have anybody to take out gadgets. Does that signal that we're moving away from that trap meta that was so heavily loaded only recently? Maybe the concern just isn't there quite the same.
Yeah, I mean, Joe coming out with the Ella. Ella doesn't see a lot of pick rate at the minute. Certainly not as much as she used to do. But Ella being chosen there, and Mad Mouse coming out with the Legion. So there's an argument for a Twitch, or there's definitely an argument for a Thatcher. But you don't always need them. Sometimes you can play through it. Sometimes you can pick them out. Sometimes you see it and you can shoot it. So master bedroom control there being taken over pretty quickly. But Corey there picking up his first kill onto Razor. So that's going to be the captain out of the picture, and the diffuser is outside on the balcony.
If the defenders are aware of that, then it can be quite a difficult place to retrieve from, but I don't think they are. It looks like the attackers have got control of that area, so that's not going to be a huge loss. I think they were probably looking to work in from there, maybe through the hatch anyway. And just looking to put that pressure on. I think they'll be looking for another. They just want to get a couple of the defenders picked up here. They need to just to find. We might have Corey coming together with Vital in here, and he gets shots onto the Legion, but Corey manages to turn around. Vital must not have known he was at the top of the stairs. He turns around, gets the headshot onto him, brings it into 5v3 for his team, and that is excellent play from Corey. He then manages to escape there when the shots start coming in as well. Excellent play so far from Ouroboros.
Yeah, without a doubt, and I think this speaks to what we were saying about earlier with the break. As we say, that WTG there picking up Corey. I think he may have got him from possibly the balcony. So that is going to be Jaeger off the board, but he's largely done his job now. They've wasted 2 minutes of the round. Mad Mouse there picking up a really sneaky kill onto WTG, just led down underneath the window, and Jackie has just hit the Legion. Mocking is going to be on the Kanto spot on the balcony. And we're moving into this final few seconds at a 2 versus 4 in favour of Ouroboros. So yeah, I think the break doing them the world of good there. It's given them a bit of time to, regather the thoughts a little bit, and just they've played this one a whole lot better. They've held what they've decided to hold, and they're in a situation, and they've got the frags, and more importantly, they've got the refrags. I think Corey there picking up that kill onto Vitlin, I think it was. That was basically a refrag because Vitlin was going for Legion, going for Mad Mouse, but didn't manage to get it because Corey managed to turn around and pick up the kill. So that's what we were talking about the refrags, and it just shows they're playing in better locations. So last few seconds, the diffuser is not in hand. Mad Mouse picking up a kill onto Jackie as he rotates through the bar. But this is going to be a firm win for Ouroboros, but not before Joe gets a kill onto Mocking.
I think Mocking just dived in and had a little spray around there. He gets the kill there to finish it off. But yeah, excellent play. It looks like we're going to be moving to another rehost, so I will just get the holding screen for a second. What do you think about that round, X?
I think that Ouroboros had the break and they did really well out of it. It looks like we may not be going for a rehost because it seems like all 5 players are in the lobby for both teams.
Yeah, it looks like Corey definitely dropped out of the game, but I obviously got a little bit carried away.
I think there was talk of it, but I'm not sure if you're allowed to rehost or not. But anyway, Corey's back, or whoever it was is back. So yeah, great round from Ouroboros. Definitely doing what they needed to do. Round count now looking at 4-5 in favour of Ouroboros, I believe.
It is, yeah. 5-4 in favour of Ouroboros.
And this is going to be match point.
Yeah, absolutely. Match point for Ouroboros, like we say, just that breaking play, just maybe settling things down for them a bit, just breaking stride for Forze, and their attack definitely seemed a lot less clinical. By contrast, I've got 2 players in mind that are going to be a good demonstration of that. Vitalin in Master Bedroom, if you remember, Ash charge into the office wall, blows it out, instant kill through, I think it was onto Legion. He knew he was there already, very good drawn in, excellent play from Vitalin on the Ash. This time, he's moving up the main staircase. He's got Corey, it was on Jaeger, I think, just above him on the landing there, completely unaware of him. So he moves up, challenges Legion through Library, who manages to escape with his life. Corey turns around, picks up the easy kill. So maybe just switching off a little bit compared to the attention to detail that we've seen from them on previous rounds.
I think he was aware of him because he definitely looked over in that direction. It's just a distinct lack of droning. And I think that that's what comes with being maybe a little bit complacent and the break and things like that. If you're not droning your Ash and he's not able to get the first kill, you're really going to struggle. Joe there not on the bandit trick, and it looks as though Razor is going to be able to get this open pretty much straight away. It doesn't even look like Joe has attempted to bandit trick that, but Mocking there picking up the first kill onto Corey. So Forze are definitely not going to want to go down without a fight. And we almost saw a little cheeky drone hole kill there as well. But Ouroboros are going to be defending upstairs pretty heavily. We've got Mad Mouse there playing in Library and Joe in Trophy. Hatches are open for them to be able to drop down and rotate, which is always good. So, you know, they're definitely conscious of that rotate. But Mocking there, narrowly missing killing his own man. And it looks as though Vitalin, as the Ash, is going to be entering upstairs into office.
Maybe using those breaching charges just to get a bit of vertical access into site, see if he can pick up any kills from up there in office. Like you say, it seems like they're gaining upstairs control pretty solidly now. We're down to, it's a 5-on-4, 1 minute 40 on the clock, so still plenty to be done here. Legion looking to move from downstairs, but WTG getting the kill onto Heisenberg, so he continues that fragging. Mad Mouse picking up the kill onto Vitalin to keep the man count a similar advantage at 4 versus 3.
So 4 versus 3, and we're moving into the last sort of minute and a bit of the round. I'd like to see at this stage Joe and Mad Mouse rotate back down. I know that Joe's definitely playing off site. He's looking at trophy window, but no one's going to come to trophy window at this stage. He wants to rotate himself through, get out of dining, get out of kitchen, and maybe try and pick up that kill onto Book as he is trying to open up the floor. Although he has got a lot to look at, and you know, the attackers now have largely got upstairs control apart from Joe, so it's going to be pretty easy to get a trade on or flush out. But Book is there opening up the floor, and is Joe going to be able to get this kill? I believe he may.
Joe insisting on staying there, but yeah, he gets the kill onto Mocking. I thought it was going to be touch and go. Bandit's gun not always the best at distance, but Jackie just gets one back there onto Peda, so that leaves us 3v2. We've still got Joe upstairs, and we've got Mad Mouse playing. I don't know if Joe's aware of the 2 underneath him, but they are watching that hatch, so it's going to be difficult for him to move back through there safely.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time left now, and Mad Mouse there picking up a kill onto Jackie, so that's going to be bringing it into a 2 versus 2. So you're going to be expecting the diffuser to go down any second. Razor picking up a kill onto Mad Mouse, 2 versus 1. Can Joe do it all? It does appear like the attackers are going to be getting the diffuser down in the final few seconds at the garage door, ready to watch it.
Joe has it all to do, but he gets the first kill onto WTG, so it's now a 1v1 situation with the diffuser down, and the thermite is lit. He's under 50 health. Does Joe know where he is? I don't think he does. He runs past, and Razor, just staying patient, gets the kill without Joe being aware of his location. It made it a lot easier for him. Very tense last few seconds to the round there.
Fantastic round from Joe, going from the deep roam, and yeah, we are going to have to rehost for overtime, it is worth saying. So Joe there going from quite a deep roam upstairs, holding down an angle onto onto trophy single window, holding that angle down for a very long time, and using a lot of the round in doing so. Rotating through, picking up some kills, picking up the kill onto Mocking, more importantly, which is the book. And bringing it down to a 1 versus 1. He was tantalizingly close, but Razor there just showing that sometimes, well, all the time in Siege, the aggressor usually does have the advantage. And by being aggressive and taking up that very tight angle in the doorway, that's really just not somewhere that you're going to be expecting to see someone. It's somewhere that's very difficult to check. You know, you can't exactly look down that way and then challenge the doorway. You're expecting them to be outside, because obviously if they plant in the garage doorway, you're expecting people to be outside. However, that wasn't the case. Razor there, really thinking about his positioning at post plant and taking up that really tight angle next to the door and just managing to pick up the kill. Really, really tough do for Joe. I think the only way he would have got that was maybe with a fortunate pre-fire, if he'd have just pre-fired through the walls and stuff. But I don't think he had much much intel at that stage in the game. But a fantastic round and a really good matchup for the first match. Both teams putting it on the line, now moving into overtime. It is worth mentioning that overtime is infinite. So obviously someone's got to win, but they're going to win by 2. So will go, I believe now it is 6-6. So the first winning score we could see would be 8-6. Is that correct?
No, it's 5-5 coming into overtime.
5-5 coming into overtime.
5-5 coming into overtime. So the first winning score we could see would be 7-5. Obviously, we'll get the news of who will be attacking first to you as soon as we know ourselves. But yeah, that infinite overtime situation. So we will have one of the teams come on to attack for 2 rounds. If they win both of those, they win. If they don't, if they lose both, they lose. But if it goes 1-0, then the teams will rotate and on it will continue. But I mean,
because the rotation changes as well, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, it does. The rotation changes to every 2. But to be honest, I feel like this is a fair end to this match. I think we've seen excellent play on both sides. We've seen plenty of frags, going again on both sides. I think it would have been unfair maybe for anybody to just walk through this, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the attack, whichever team it has been, just attack in general, the attackers tended to do quite well on this map. Obviously Ouroboros on their first attacking phase, picking up 4 wins and only losing the first round, and then flipping that over to Forze. They picked up 3 rounds on the row. Ouroboros picking 1 back and then taking the final round. So I think that historically on this map, the attack's done fairly well. It'll be interesting to see, where the coin toss falls and which team ends up on attack for overtime, because I think that will largely influence the outcome, both teams being very dominant on attack. So I think that whoever gets the attack first is going to have, it's going to be theirs to lose, if you will, because we've seen great attacking plays from both teams.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be moving into overtime very shortly, and obviously this is going to, potentially this shapes up the rest of the fixture. How do teams then start approaching the next map, depending on the win or loss? How much energy do they expend here if this overtime continues?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, infinite overtime is no joke. You really can, have to play this for quite a while, and that can be really tough on the players, because they've got a lot more ideas to come out with. You've used your 5 defensive ideas now. You've got to find another 2. So we are going to move into overtime right now. The match is all set up and the players have loaded in. So we're going to see Ouroboros on the attack. Ouroboros, as we said previously, did have a very dominant start to the match, picking up their 4 out of their first 5 attacks. Is that going to play into this now? We're seeing very similar operator selection, and Forze have chosen to go down to Wine Cellar and Snowmobile. So not taking any chances this time. taking it straight downstairs and defending, probably one of the better sites on Chalet.
I think the priority here is, as we've said before, get that garage door open, and then you can start working vertically and from the rear with 3 or even 4 of the rest of your team if you're still all alive. Just leave one man on the door there and just start working those angles. So they've no bandit. Once they get if they're aware of that, if they see all the operators during the droning phase and they know there's only mute, if they can just get Twitch down there, get the mutes cleared out, they can leave Thermite down there to open up and then start applying pressure with that rifle through the open garage door. They then push from big garage and potentially upstairs as well, and just start applying pressure from all directions, clearing the roamers out from upstairs and really making the defenders sweat.
It looks as though the way that Mirror reinforced that wall is she's setting that up for a backside push, which is very interesting. We've got Corey there throwing in some stun grenades upstairs. Joe already on the balcony, ready to enter library. But Mirror there, not really sure about that. Not sure about not having a bandit and then deciding to place your reinforcement that side. Obviously, if she's going to place a Mirror, it has to be that side looking back into Wine Cellar. So definitely an interesting one, but we're also seeing an ACOG come out from WTG. So that's going to provide some nice long lines of sight downstairs. And maybe that's the reason why they've not opted for the bandit. They're kind of not scared of the garage door getting open. So, WTG might want to hold a long line of sight, but Vitlin is going to be holding in trophy. Maybe trying to emulate some of the successes of Joe on the previous round, but Peter is picking up some valuable information on the drone and manages to get WTG down to around 40 hit points from a bit of clever drone work there and some good calls. So very cagey start to this, as you would expect, with it being the first round of overtime. Now the team really wanting to make too many mistakes straight off the rip. So we're going to be pretty much halfway into the round now, and there's been a little bit of attacker control just in there that Thermite's got in upstairs as Vitlin takes out some drones, but managed to take some shots there, and Heisenberg won't know how close he was to taking out Vitlin there. He managed to get a good couple of hits on him, but couldn't hit the headshot.
Quite low damage. I mean, Vitlin's still at 75 there, so he's got himself out. He was obviously out over that damage drop-off, and he's managed to get away with the majority of his life, but it just, again, forces him out of trophy. We've got WTG there as Doc just replacing some of his own health. That's the second shot that he's had to use on himself, so potentially limiting the options for the rest of his team. If Battalion makes it back down to sight, he might be able to just replace that bit of missing health. But the Doc, like you said, just looking to hold angles, really. That's what you've got to do with the Doc and that ACOG. Shots raining in on Vatalin now, but it's fair to say he's wasting an awful lot of time. Gets a brilliant headshot onto Heisenberg, and that just shows sometimes why it's worth holding those sub positions. He's being droned out. He's got shots raining in from all around him, but we're now down to 35 seconds before Corey manages to take him out, and the headshot onto Heisenberg, getting the Hibana off the board, that could well pay dividends as the round goes on. Mad Mouse getting the kill onto WTG, taking the Doc off the board though, and his potential last shot of hit points. So that leaves us in a 4v3 now, but only 18 seconds left, and the attackers have got to do something about the objective here and start looking to get the diffuser down, which is currently with Peter.
Mocking picking up a kill onto Joe, and Jackie picking up a kill on Corey. So the defense there doing their best to keep them out. Jackie picking up another kill onto Peter. Mad Mouse picking up a kill onto Mocking. Mad Mouse picking up another kill onto Jackie. However, running out of time, unable to get the bomb down. And a great mirror placement in the end from the mirror on Forze. I forget who it was, but I believe it was Jackie. Or Mocking perhaps, but brilliant mirror placement there just to sort of really shut off Blue Corridor and the door that comes into it. And I think that Mad Mouse there picking up some good kills, but they weren't very impactful. He got the kills at the end, but the diffuser was nowhere to be seen. Someone had already dropped that somewhere else through dying, and they weren't able to get the bomb down. And that just goes to show why KD doesn't mean everything. You can get the kills, but you can't win the round all the time. And I think that's definitely what we've seen there. But a fantastic defense from Forze, picking up a defensive win, which, as we've said, has not been the easiest thing so far for either team as they've been defending on this map. We're going to see a castle this time and a mirror, so I'm expecting some heavy utility to be sort of invested upstairs. WTG and Vitalin just switching things up there and deciding they want to do on either one's operator.
Yep, going to be... I mean, obviously now Forze just need to get this round. We're on match point, and they are going to be looking to take it here. We've got Doc coming out again, but Vital in this time opting to take that ACOG. Maybe they're just passing the ACOG amongst them as to who gets a turn with it next. But WTG on Jaeger this time, so a straight up operator swap. See what they can do. As you say, Mad Mouse really has to be the target at this point. If they can close the Twitch down, get him off the board early. There hasn't been many frags across the rest of the team, and it's not fair to say that that's been across the entire map. But Mad Mouse definitely one of the standout players for Ouroboros here.
Corey wasted no time there getting in through library once again. And at this stage, that's a player tendency for me, and the Forze should be aware of this. But he's allowed to just sort of get in straight away upstairs and start to, push that control of the balcony and of office and master bedroom. And he's just sort of being allowed free reign there. But as we say that, Heisenberg is going to be opening up the castle barricade on master bedroom, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to get some drone work done, find out where the players are playing upstairs. And Corey taking out another one of the castle barricades. So the upstairs defense paying a little bit of dividend there. We've got Mocking now rotated back down to the objective. And they've wasted over a minute in that defense upstairs, and I believe that there's still a couple of guys playing. Going to see a little bit of health get dished out there to Mocking, just over healthing him, just a slight amount. But Corey in master bedroom with full control, just taking a look down into trophy and the doorway, seeing if there's anything that you can see, and going to get a bit more of the floor opened up, but a little bit of poor destruction there. I would maybe put that as. Unfortunately, couldn't really see too much.
Yep, 4 of the Ouroboros team upstairs now, so looking at having control, I think it's fair to say. But will we see a late roam from WTG, as is becoming one of his sort of expected norms? But Peter gets the kill, maybe watching for that. They had the staircases covered. Once you've got upstairs control of Chalet, if you've got 4 of you up there, it should be relatively easy just to hold down your flanks and avoid that late roam that WTG was trying to bring through. But that said, 50 seconds, they're all still upstairs. The nades raining in and only doing small damage to Razor on the smoke there. So it looks like Forze happy to just hold their angles here, stay on site and waste the time, wait for that diffuser to have to go down. But Corey and Mad Mouse getting 2 kills in quick succession onto Jackie and Mocking. So that takes the castle and the mirror off the board, leaving Smoke and Doc to fend off 5 in a 2v5 situation now. Heisenberg getting a kill onto Vitaline. Corey finishing it off for a flawless round.
Great round from Ouroboros, and I think that was very reminiscent of their early attacking rounds where they just took great control upstairs. They managed to get kills without losing men. They were getting, they were backing each other up. There was a lot of drone work going on, very coercive attack, and that was exactly what they gave us. We're now moving into, so it's 1-1 in overtime, so that's going to take us to 6-6 total round count currently.
Yep, and we move on to the defence for Ouroboros.
We do.
They are going to Kitchen Trophy. We can see there the kills just getting spread out a little bit more. Corey picking up 3 this time. Mad Mouse getting another 1. But just moving those kills around the team a little bit, which is exactly, I think, what Ouroboros needed. Mad Mouse just not able to do enough on his own in the first round. And we're going to see another Kitchen Trophy defence. What will Forze have learnt from their time attacking?
I think Force from their time defending or attacking. Yeah, attacking.
When they've attacked this site previously.
Yeah, they've attacked this site previously, and they've just been successful in winning this site on the defence as well. So bit of a tough one, really. I think that Corey's going to try and play upstairs again. Again, heavily investing his ADSs upstairs. It just goes to show how crucial it is library's holding. And it's interesting Corey chooses to hold library because that's where he enters as Ash every single time. So he's obviously very comfortable playing in library as both an attacker and a defender. Although it doesn't look as though any of the Forze players are going to be pushing library.
That's something that I would expect Forze to maybe start picking up on, though. If you've got a regular entry point for an operator or a player particularly, and then you also see that he's commonly holding there on defence, you have to start edging your bets and going with the odds that he's going to be in there again. So starting to apply pressure there immediately, maybe 2 or 3 of you, get him cleared out nice and early, and that takes an important operator in Jaeger off the board maybe a minute into the round.
Yeah, definitely, and I think library's a good place to start on an upstairs take of chalet. You start someone in library, you start someone on the balcony, or canto as people like to call it. You start someone in master bedroom, and all of a sudden you get the trifecta, and you got 3 guys all pushing. You can kind of push the defenders to the stairs and kill them on the way. Or as you're droning them out and getting trades and stuff like that. And I think library is really crucial place to start, really. So I'm pretty surprised that Forze haven't pushed it all too much because we're quite a way into the round now, and they don't seem to have established much control. I'm not sure who's actually inside. I think we maybe got one up in master.
Yeah, and you saw there that ADS that Corey had left down in trophy just doing its job and taking out the frag, allowing the defender just to remain in there safely and keep applying pressure to that single window. But we've got WTG moving in as Sophia, starting to apply some real pressure towards library and upstairs now.
And that's where, library becomes powerful, because you can either hold that angle on the balcony to office and master, or as Corey's just done, you can drop down, drop into game, probably going to go all the way through the map, but not before getting the kill onto FTG. So manages to duck out of library, come back up library stairs, and get the kill outside of office. That's brilliant. Now he's probably going to rotate all the way through the map, underneath, through garage, and he may even be able to pick up a kill onto Vitlin here, because Vitlin is just upstairs outside of the fireplace.
Great roaming here, as you say, and he's just waiting there. He's just waiting for Ash to start getting that tunnel vision towards sight. Don't know if he knows, but Vitaline moves in. Maybe just leaves it a little bit late for that flank, as he's just lost 2 men now. So remember, Vitaline could have been taken out potentially had Corey moved up those stairs a little bit sooner. Could have saved those 2 kills, but there is another one in the meantime, leaving us at a 3v3 with 20 seconds left on the clock. And this is definitely one for the attackers to win rather than defenders to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the way that Corey's played that has been absolutely perfect. Although Vitaline picking up those 2 very important kills, it sounds as though the diffuser is going to be going down right now. But Mad Mouse picking up a quick double kill, and Corey there managing to pick up the last kill onto Mocking after a bit of a skirmish there. But Corey just still playing his angle and playing for that late roam. So Corey's had a fantastic round there, and I think that he's really picked it up from last week. I wish I had been, but I've not been keeping count of actual kills. We've had so many rehosts that it's been a little bit difficult, but Corey and Mad Mouse both on 6 apiece there. I'd imagine that over the course of the map, they're probably on, maybe 12, nearly 15, probably, especially Mad Mouse. I think he had 7 kills before we rehosted the first time. So definitely getting the kills this time. And we're going to see Wine Cellar and Snowmobile for match point.
Mad Mouse absolutely going off at the minute, as you say. 6 kills each for him and Corey. They have definitely stepped up in this overtime, leaving us currently at 7-6 in favour of Ouroboros, and if they can pick up the 2nd defensive round in a row, they will take the map before we move on to the next map, which will be Coastline.
Yeah, definitely. Coastline's going to be exciting. We're hopefully going to see, obviously depending on how the bans go, hopefully going to see plenty of mirror play, maybe a little bit of vigil as well. But we'll have to see how that plays out. For now, moving out of the drone phase, and it does appear as though, Joe's managed to keep his health this time. No stray impact grenades.
Well, we've no Legion on the board, so I think that's where the safety comes in. That's where it came from last time. But right, so we've got mirror setting up in Wine Closet there. And it looks like they're going to be trying to obviously defend both sides, but it just depends how well they hold upstairs. Do those hatches get opened up by Hibana? It's always the dangerous question. Corey roaming there into Trophy. We also had Ella in Dining Room as Mad Mouse, so one to watch there. And they're just obviously waiting for them to come and try and find those hatches.
Definitely, and playing with the hatches open is always good for these rotations. It can be handy to have them shut if the attacking team doesn't have a Hibana or you manage to pick her out early. You can always take that out. But a quick Ash charge there from Vitlin coming in. So Vitlin, the guy that defended Trophy with Jaeger very successfully in one of the previous rounds that we've seen, has managed to push Corey out playing as Jaeger with a really simple Ash charge there from the window. And that just goes to show how it's very good attacking somewhere you're good at defending, because you know the weaknesses of it. And whereas Vitlin managed to waste sort of 2.5 minutes in Trophy last time, Corey managed to waste sort of 30 seconds, and that's the difference there. And maybe Forze are going to try and capitalise on this a little bit. They're probably pretty safe to get into trophy now, as Zafir does, and start to sort of, gain a little bit of this upstairs control. Vitlin's going to be pushing down at main stairs.
And just watching that angle there onto the door, obviously looking for any movement. He knows he's got a little bit of time left, but we've got Corey and Peter just holding hard angles there, looking for that rear push. We've got Buck mocking on the Buck just up there on the balcony, seeing again, trying to cut off any of those rotations. And WTG is just going to be droning into sight there. As you can see, Peter with a great view through that hatch, waiting for a potential approach from Jackie and Razor, which might come.
I'm not sure if Joe's aware, but there's a guy just outside of bar, and he does unfortunately not manage to pick up the kill. So Vitlin as the Ash picking up the kill onto Joe, and Mad Mouse is playing on Library Stairs as well, but it doesn't appear like he knows where he is. But Mad Mouse does manage to pick up the kill onto Vitlin, so that is going to bring us back down equal, and he gets the second kill onto Jackie. Ella there showing she's still just as capable as she ever was at challenging multiple enemies. And it looks as though Razor's on the stairs. And yeah, Mad Mouse is able to pick up his third kill of the round. So Mad Mouse is on for the ace at the moment, but his sister Zafir isn't going to allow it. And she's going to force him back down to the OBJ, as I think they maybe caught a glimpse of each other. Heisenberg picking up WTG. So all left to do for Mocking. It's going to be 4 versus 1 in favour of Ouroboros. And this could be the round win, or the match win, should I say, for Ouroboros. Mocking here, very little time left, although does manage to pick up the first kill onto Heisenberg. Mad Mouse picking up the kill onto Mocking, making that a 4K, and taking his total kills for overtime to 10 without a death.
Very, very good performance late on from Ouroboros there. For sure. Just moving in, getting those last kills that they needed. Mad Mouse absolutely going off and just getting things done, really.
Yeah, definitely Mad Mouse there. Really, knuckling down in the overtime and doing what he needed to do to take the win. 10-0, it's no joke. They only played, I think, did they play 5 rounds of overtime, was it? I forget. But, certainly a couple of kills each round, and last round picking up a 4K. So absolutely fantastic there from him. And I think that just goes to show that he's going to be definitely one of the players to watch. Definitely one of the players to watch for Ouroboros this year, or this season, should I say. He did fantastically well in the first week. The only player to come out with a positive KD. He's again come out this week and in the first game done very, very well. So I'd be definitely, keeping my eye on Mad Mouse and see where he ends up.
Yeah, obviously now we're in a situation where Ouroboros have come out. They've taken the first map, so we are currently 1-0 to Ouroboros. They've won their own map, but they've had to take it to 8-6 in overtime to do that. How much of a toll is that going to take once they move into Forze's map on Coastline? Does that give Forze a bit of an advantage to that map?
I know that Forze are very comfortable on Coastline as a map. I think they played it in the qualifiers and did very well in it. However, they did choose it for their map pick last week against Identity, and unfortunately they weren't successful. So I think, although it's your map and you've picked it, you do never know what other teams are going to bring to the table, and it might have just been a happy coincidence that Forze have picked Coastline. It could be a map that Ouroboros are very confident on as well, although they did lose as well last week on Coastline to Dislon. So both these teams having played this map before, both having lost on it. So there's going to be plenty of, VOD material for them to go over and, possibly steal some of the things that their opposing teams did very well on this map. Definitely a time and potential for them to work on things that they could have done better as teams. So I think that, moving into this, we could see a really good matchup here, because these teams have both played these maps. There's loads of material to go over. And I'm not going to use the word excuse, but there almost isn't an excuse for either of these teams to be unprepared for this.
No, and we're just going to have a quick look at operator bans for... So, operator-wise, we will be looking at first of... Got a As ban.
Ooh.
Followed by a Lion ban. Followed then by Pulse. Mute.
Mute seeing is, I think, his first ban in EU CCS history there. Definitely a strange one. Often a really popular ban on Coastline is going to be a mirror, because mirror is able to change multiple bomb sites into being, pretty viable, especially downstairs in Sunrise. Mirror is pretty crucial. She can provide fantastic outlook. But to see a mute ban there is a little bit surprising. To see a Glaz, that's, Glaz is a very powerful operator, especially for kitchen. If you get that service door open and you smoke it out, you can get a really good long line of sight in with Glaz, and manage to pick up some kills there. He's also very good for Sunrise. There's nowhere really that Glaz doesn't do well on Coastline, so that's a fairly good, fairly good ban, I would say. Lion again, seeing a ban there. Is that the same team that's banned Lion both times?
Have a look. I mean, I can understand, as you say, I can understand all 3 bans there. It's just the mute one that's throwing me off a little bit, to be honest.
There must be something pretty specific that maybe we're not privy to.
And yes, the Lion ban has come in from Forze on both occasions.
I think it is worth mentioning that because I'm going to pull my notes up right now and just make sure that I get this correct. But I believe that Heisenberg is listed as being the Lion player for Ouroboros. So, and it is his only attacker listed. Now, obviously, Lion's seen a very recent introduction to the game, and he hasn't been in for all too long. So it would be, rude to assume that Heisenberg can only play Lion on attack. He's done fantastic throughout this, throughout this matchup so far. But definitely interesting to see him being banned by Forze, both times, because obviously there's something that they really don't like about him, or there's something that they think that Ouroboros are very good with him. So, yeah, definitely brings a new interesting and exciting dynamic to the map ban. I love it. I think, the op ban, I personally love it. I think that it can really change maps, and change, the way that things are all played out. You can watch the same map all night with different operator bans, and it does make it very fresh, and you see a lot of new ideas, which is always good. So we're going to see Ouroboros on attack, and we are going to see Forze on their first defense. We're going to be upstairs in billiards room and hooker lounge. I think there was a little bit of a joke made of how me and Ace pronounce hooker. I think.
Yeah, let's see those hashtag hookers.
Yeah, I think a lot of people go for the more ooh, like a hookah, but no.
We won't be changing. Interesting to see. We haven't had a blitz ban yet, and we haven't had a blitz played yet.
That is an interesting statistic or little fact there. I think that these teams have obviously had a bit of a gentleman's agreement before and decided, you know what, we're not going to push we're not going to play blitz. I won't play him if you don't, and then we don't need to waste a ban on him. But joking aside, maybe there's just no player that really enjoys playing him. I think to play him well, I think you've got to be pretty good with the shield. And I mean, I've never really touched the shields in this game, so I don't really know. I'm not really speaking from much experience, but.
Well, I think it's easy to watch. You watch Julio from Black Dragons. You watch Julio come in, and he does an upstairs roam clear in about 15 seconds with blitz, gets 2 kills, and it's game over. But the players who can do that with blitz are few and far between. The angles can be very, very difficult to cover, especially if you get pushed by 2 players at once. But just with being in hooker, I would, maybe have been interesting to see a shield for that single door plant. But we've just seen Vigil there, WTG, getting his job done. He's got the down, but he gets baited in by Joe. Will Joe now go and pick up the downed IQ? I think he probably will. So that leaves us in a 5-on-4. Clever work there from Joe.
Vittlin there, maybe just baiting out the IQ a bit, but it looks like Heisenberg is going to enter through service door, and I'm not sure that Vittlin's heard him. Yeah, definitely not. So IQ is going to get revived. IQ getting a really lucky escape there away from Vigil. Obviously, Vigil now a little bit harder to find for IQ, really, because she's got a smaller window to find him in. His ability doesn't last for as long. She can only scan him when the ability's on. So I don't want to use the word nerf to IQ, but it's definitely more difficult for an IQ to definitely pinpoint a vigil now, and I think that may be what we saw there.
Yeah, I haven't done the maths specifically, but like you say, you've now got more frequent, shorter bursts of that vigil scan, so I don't know whether overall it's actually active for more time or less time, but like you say, each time it is active, it certainly gives IQ a lot less time to be able to track him. And we've just got the attackers here trying to apply pressure from outside of the site. That smoke grenade comes out. That's the first one I think I've seen with 20 seconds to go. So that will no doubt continue from Razor. And the defenders looking pretty good in 5v3. But 4v3, Vitalin just trading out, getting the kill onto Mad Mouse there. Although the defender is going down with Heisenberg. Mocking gets downed as Mirror. And the diffuser is down with only really Vitalin left to fight in a 4v2. He can't pick Mirror up surely. This is a huge risk, wasting a lot of that diffuser time, but could the extra gun just win it for them? They've got to start pushing those angles now, and Ouroboros just looking to hold them out, but it doesn't look like they've got anybody really external to the objective. Corey and Peter, though, picking up the kill onto Vitaline and Mocking, just from... as a caster's curse, as I say, it doesn't look like they've got anybody outside the objective. They come from Cool Vibe Stairs to finish things off.
Great round from the attacking team there in Ouroboros, and I think that was very reminiscent of their first couple of rounds. Joe there picking up 3 kills and no deaths. Only Mad Mouse there, managing to unfortunately pick up a death early doors there. But a great round from Ouroboros, and I think that's something that we could see continue now. Like we said, they did very well in their attack last time, so let's see how this phase works out for him. But the Vigil play there from WTG, we've not seen a Vigil yet. Obviously, Vigil was banned on Chalet, but we're seeing Vigil played back-to-back now, and Vitalin there is going to pick up the Jaeger, so maybe a little bit of, obviously Vitalin and WTG definitely there, the roamers, the fraggers kind of thing, and nice to see that they're able to sort of switch around a little bit and bring the Vigil in where he is needed.
Be interesting to see how they go about defending this objective. Obviously, with Pulse off the board, it removes that Nitro from service possibility to stop a behind the bed plant. So will Ouroboros, knowing that, will they go for a particular VIP push? They don't have a Thermite, so it doesn't suggest they will, but they do still have the Hibana who can open the hole up big enough to get in. But they'll also be looking for Hibana maybe just to do something about those mirrors as well.
Yeah, mirror placement there looked a little bit off. It didn't look like it was sort of, totally against that wall, up against the edge of the door frame, which is a little bit unusual. I'd like to know the reason for that. But Corey there wasting no time, and Heisenberg as well. So they're going to be pushing this together. They've got Peter droning out ahead of them. We've got Heisenberg and Corey already into kitchen. So they've made quick progress into the site, into the building as a whole, and very little time indeed. They're already in and they're already establishing control. They're now taking over sort of, looks like blue bar area, maybe getting droned out. Heisenberg's still downstairs, but they've rotated back up to the roof. Obviously a call has changed. I liked that. I liked Peter droning. I liked Heisenberg and Corey there ready to trade each other out. I felt like they could have gone on and cleared the whole ground floor like that and maybe got Vitalin and WTG out of Lamborghini door, but unfortunately not.
It's interesting to see that WTG at least played there last time. They've then, instead of changing that, they've got that knowledge from last time. WTG plays in lobby as Vigil, gets IQ downed and then gets traded out. So playing him in exactly the same location is definitely a dangerous strategy. They've got Vitalin down there as well and added a second man to it. So there's 2 things that can happen there. Either Ouroboros learn from that and they push in numbers into lobby and take 2 out instead, or as they have done, they just avoid lobby altogether. You've got 2 men down there, 1:30 into the round. They've not really slowed the attack because nobody's pushing that way. And now you've got some serious progress being made through Hall of Fame and VIP with Heisenberg getting that first kill. He's moved downstairs and got WTG just out of the hallway there. And that leaves us in a 5v4.
Heisenberg now is aware that Vitalin, well, not aware that Vitalin, but aware that somebody is going to be pushing him due to the Claymore being shot out. Downstairs in kitchen, Corey there picking up a kill onto Razor, so that's Smoke out of the picture, and I think Smoke didn't even get to use any of his toxic bays, but Heisenberg there waiting out the kill on Vitalin, managing to pick it up. Mocking picking up the kill onto Joe. 4 versus 2, and the diffuser is down, so this really isn't looking too good for Forze. Jackie's there offsite, Mocking is playing behind his mirror, although Corey is in bathroom, ready to rain shots down, and does manage to light Mirror up there. Mirror's probably about 5 hit points at this stage. Mad Mouse there picking up the kill through the wall onto Jackie, and it's all for Mirror to do with the wall open behind her. Heisenberg is going to be pushing the window, and it's all just going to be getting a little bit too much for Mocking there, but he does manage to get outside, and he does just miss the kill onto Heisenberg. Heisenberg there picking up the kill. Mirror was super lit, like we said, didn't take very many bullets, and that's going to be another good attacking win for Ouroboros.
Yeah, I think that was a 3k from Heisenberg, and it's definitely worth pointing him out as the star of the round, if you will. There, he's come in, he's got both Jaeger and Vigil downstairs. He's handled them himself, essentially. You've got Vitalin and WTG, two of the lead fraggers from the last map, and they've just been neutralised. Simple as that. So excellent play from Heisenberg there. We were commenting coming into this whether his main op was, unavailable. He likes to play Lion, but it certainly doesn't seem to be hurting him going onto that F2.
Now, the F2 widely regarded as one of the best guns in the game, and it definitely is. Twitch's ability is fantastic. I think that Forze have played a mirror every single round, so you've really got no reason not to take her. It's definitely almost a must-take, if you will. So we're going to be moving down now into another hooker and billiards hold, and we've got Jackie there on a little bit of a drone hunt. And they're going to seem to be investing a little bit of utility downstairs in Sunrise Bar just to aid that hold a little bit. I think Ouroboros ran through them pretty convincingly last time on this hold.
Always interesting to see how many drones are making it out there. I saw a video recently with Fabian of Penta saying if they get out with anything less than 8 or 9 drones, they see that as a failure for the prep phase for them. So, something, not always enough value placed in the drones, I think, on the attackers. They are your cams, but you can position them anywhere you want. So if you keep those alive, they can be extremely valuable. And that's the mirror going, so that's going to be a big pickup for that Twitch drone. Even if that's the only thing that Twitch drone achieves, I would have to say it's been well spent and a job well done.
Yeah, I think, as a Twitch player, you kind of, resign yourself to the fact that you've got 2 drones. If you get both mirrors open, you've done a fantastic job, and that's going to make the hold just a little bit more difficult, and it's going to make B-side in hooker quite uncomfortable to sit in. Jackie's playing with the other mirror downstairs, looking through blue bar into office area, and Corey there is already upstairs. He's going to be pressuring down on the stairs, but Vitalin playing again inside the main lobby, behind the desk there, and that's the 3rd round in a row that he's played there. So I think that they're either maybe not droning him out, or they're just aware of him and they're going to pick him up on a rotate, because that'd be something that you'd want to, as the attacking team in Ouroboros, that'd be something that you'd maybe want to, deal with a little bit more head on. Like I say, we're moving into the halfway point now in the round, and Habana's made a very nice hold from VIP looking into the objective, although Corey is now in Aquarium. And with that mirror open, is that going to work both ways for him? Because obviously, once it's open, it can be shot through just as easily by a defender as it can an attacker. Mocking is aware of him, though. Corey is trying to put some shots down, but doesn't manage to connect anything. Corey's in a really tough spot there, and I need to see some, support from a couple of his teammates there, Jackal and Sledge there coming to back him up. But Razor picking up the first kill. Heisenberg trading it out onto WTG, so that will be the bandit off the board. And Vitalin there picking up Joe as the Sledge player. So 3 versus 4 in favour of Forze, moving into the final couple of seconds of the final minute or so of the round. And that's Heisenberg taken out, so Vitalin there. So this is why you need to deal with Vitalin head on in Lamborghini doorway, because he's been allowed to rotate all the way up.
They should have expected him there. He's been there 3 games in a row now, so you've got to expect that he's potentially going to be playing there. Get your drone in, check it out, make sure you know. Mocking getting the kill onto Peter, so that leaves us Mad Mouse. He's a top fragger. He's in a 1v4, 1v3. He just needs to now start picking these up as to single engagements, 1v1, to see what he can do. But it's certainly in Forze's favour at the minute.
Yeah, limited time on the clock now, and Vitalin rightly so, just dipping out of that engagement. Razor picking up the final kill for the first defender's win on coastline. So Forze there managing to pick up their first win. That mirror there working both ways as we said that it would, and managing to pick up the kill. Just using the mirror frame as a little bit of cover, something to lean on the other side of. And Forze there picking up the first round win. So great round. Vittel in there, standout round. I think he was very influential in the way that round panned out, purely because he was allowed to hide in the map downstairs. He was allowed to just hide out and then rotate when he needed to. WTG there really struggling for kills this time. 2 assists, 3 deaths, no kills on the board yet, and that's in stark contrast to his last game on Chalet. Chalet, I would obviously we didn't see an end scoreboard on Chalet because we struggled with the rehost and stuff, but I'd go as far as to say he was one of the top fraggers on Forze for that map. Definitely struggling to put it together. We're going to see a Valkyrie this time.
Interesting to see a Valkyrie on coastline. There's some very good external cams that can be used. It'll be interesting to see if that maybe encourages a run out or two, if they get anybody up onto double window and they've got the information fed back that maybe the doors aren't claymored. Get out there, and I always like to see that sort of aggression.
Definitely outside Valkyrie cameras are the best kind of Valkyrie cameras. Bit unsure as to, maybe we're going to see the Blackbeard and a Capitan and stuff like that more later on, but I think an early observation from Ouroboros is, aside from the Jackal play that they seem to have sort of incorporated in the last couple of rounds, they don't really play with too much smoke, and I'm not sure if that's like a personal preference, if they're maybe not always playing for the bomb down in sort of rush plant situations, if they're trying to get a man advantage and then plant the bomb. But I've not really seen them, they've never really done like a rush bomb plant. And something else that they've not really played is any sort of Blackbeard or anything like that, or a Glass.
It's funny you say that. I was just going to comment on the Blackbeard. I always like to see one on this objective. If you can get a couple of claymores down at Lamborghini door and service door, you get Blackbeard up on that double window. He cuts off a lot of rotates and can just rain havoc really from that window and easily get 2 or 3 kills throughout the round as people try to move through sight as they pushed and are forced. Even in combination with a Glaz, or dare I say a Fuse, an operator that basically is going to get onto those soft walls and start moving people around. But obviously, all situation dependent, but looks like we are going to be seeing a push towards VIP, bathroom and Hall of Fame again from Ouroboros this time. I think they saw some success with it last time, so let's see. But it was largely down to Heisenberg, if you remember, clearing out those roamers downstairs last time. This time I think they've only got Vital in playing downstairs on the roam. I think there was 4 in or around. We can see Mirror and Smoking objective there at least, and I think Valk's just out in the corridor, so not as heavy a man count downstairs, but Vital in making that roam count, getting the kill onto Mad Mouse. But again, Ouroboros dealing very well with it. Joe coming in and just trading that straight out.
Yeah, wasting no time on the trades, and I'd like to have seen Mad Mouse maybe get a few more Jackal scans off or get a kill for his troubles down there, but unfortunately Vitalin had just switched up where he was playing. I think he was playing more around Blue Bar, and he managed to pick up the kill. Peter there is going to be opening up the back of VIP wall, putting Razor in a very unfortunate position as Corey is in the bathroom, but Heisenberg there picking up WTG, so that is Valkyrie out of the picture. Valkyrie there having a really tough game, still not managing to pick up a kill, I don't think. So Corey in the bathroom, we've got Razor sitting really tight in the corner against a VIP wall. And this is just going to be a bit of an angle game for the defenders. They're going to have to really hold and see if they can make it happen. But Razor there picking up the first kill onto Peter. Peter not expecting to have to check quick left so soon. And all of a sudden, it's going to be a 2 versus 3 in favour of Forze. Could this be their second defensive round? Razor picking up Corey. Heisenberg picking up Mocking. So 2 versus 2.
Razor, extremely dangerous in that corner, did very well there. He managed to get the kill as they moved through for the plant, but then he also got a second, I think, as Corey came out of bathroom, so great defensive play there. We're now in a 2v1, but Heisenberg gets the kill onto Razor. I think that's actually a 4k for Heisenberg if he could get the last, but he doesn't. Jackie will deny him the ace, comes in for the second, gets the kill onto Joe. Excellent finish by Jackie, and Forza fighting back.
Forze are definitely not wanting to go down without a fight here. I think the diffuser was in a very unfortunate position, and that just goes to show that a drone at that stage of Peter pushing through VIP wall would have made all the difference. You drone that out, you look left, you see that Razor's there, you're not going to push it, you're going to do something else, you maybe use your other Hibana charge to open behind him or whatever. But Heisenberg there, picking up the frag, 7 and 2, doing absolutely fantastic. Joe as well, 4 kills, 3 assists and 3 deaths. two standout players there for Ouroboros. But yeah, I think that goes back to the drone thing that we were on about. You know, if you drone the hole that you've just made, you're going to make your job a hell of a lot easier in going in there and Razor's there, because I think part of the reason he was so strong was because they maybe didn't know that he was there. Peter certainly didn't. The way that he went through that hole, there's absolutely no way. It would have been handy to have someone on the window, as you suggested, a Blackbeard or similar, to just cut that as an option. It doesn't even become an option to sit there when you've got someone on the window.
Yeah, the only thing I can think is maybe, you know, if they didn't have any drones left. But again, it just plays back into what we said about keeping your drones alive. It is important. If you can have a drone going into that engagement, that is probably swings the entire round, because if he moves in there and gets Razor, then the diffuser probably goes down, and it's just a case of defending from window and from VIP then.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you're going to take the diffuser in with you and leave the diffuser in a really bad spot in the objective. That's what makes things very difficult, is leaving the diffuser in a bad spot, because then you can't pick it up, you can't plant, and you've got to kill everyone, and everyone's just going to hide because they know where the diffuser is. So it all sort of runs back to where you're leaving the diffuser and stuff like that, and intelligence and information is always the key where that's concerned. But we're going to see another hooker and billiards hold this time. It's been successful in the past, I believe. Last time it sort of came down to, I think it came down to Heisenberg maybe to do it all, but he just couldn't quite manage it. So Forze are on good form at the minute. We're moving into 2-2, so this is going to be the last defensive round for Forze, and obviously the last attacking round for Ouroboros. So we're going to come out of this phase, whichever way it goes, fairly even. And that does speak to the ability level of both of these teams, is that they're very well matched and they're both playing a fantastic game.
If Forze come out 3-2, I think they'll... I mean, obviously it is a win at that point, but I think they'll definitely count it as a bigger win than essentially 3-2. Coming into the first two rounds, Heisenberg's played so well on the Twitch, and, you know, like you said, 7-2. So still coming out with a 3-2 lead, that's a huge advantage, and it starts leaving Ouroboros to think, you know, what do we have to do in order to get the wins here? But as we've seen, when it changes over and Ouroboros get onto the defence, it can all change very quickly.
Seeing some smoke grenades used there by Razor pretty early on. Only a little over a minute and 10 left in the round when those guys are getting used. So as you can use the second one now as well. So going to be left with, you know, some limiting factors to stop this push. And I'd really like to see an attacker just push up Cool Vibe stairs. I think that'd be, you know, pretty influential in this round, because there's a lot of focus on Aquarium, and it seems like that's where there's maybe sort of 3 attackers all piled up.
As you've seen, you've got Legion just sort of standing there at will, really. If you, like you say, push an attacker up Cool Vibes, you know, move for a quick roam clear downstairs, but Vitaling gets Peter, so that's Jaeger onto the Hibana, so that's some good utility off the board there. And it looks like WTG and Vitaling just downstairs again, working together, and even picking up the vertical kills, but WTG on Bandit instead of Vigil this time. But Mad Mouse getting the kill onto Razor, and that allows him to potentially get a plant right on top of that pool table, but the diffuser gets dropped. The plant does not go down. Mocky moves in and gets 2 kills for Forze, taking this game by the scruff of the neck. Jackie brings us to a 2v1. Leisure and Mirror just have to deal with Heisenberg, but we say just he's 7-2 top fragger. What can he do in this clutch situation? Nothing. Mocking just gets in and takes him out.
Yeah, Heisen had it all to do there, and that was really unfortunate. I think that the smoke cover maybe wasn't exactly what they wanted. It seemed as though they were very much on the edge of the smoke. Maybe Jackal didn't get a chance to throw it far enough in. But planting on the pool table, I get it that you watch it out from outside and stuff like that, but it just seems a little bit risky to me. You know, try and get the plant off, you know, at all costs, and maybe don't. I don't know. It just looks a little bit flashy. You know,
potentially, if you get it, get it in the corner hard left as you come through from Aquarium, if that's the side you're pushing, you can either go hard left in that corner, or you can go to the right towards where the bomb itself is. And both the bomb and pool table are going to potentially provide you some cover on each one of those angles. But yeah, like you say, just it's putting yourself on a pedestal. It's just, you know, pop yourself up here whilst I get the diffuser down, completely out of cover, other than the smoke. As soon as they hear that, they can just start. You know, what does everybody do? As soon as they start hearing a diffuser go down in the middle of smoke, what do you start doing? You just start spraying. So that's exactly what's going to happen, except all you've done is put yourself in a really prominent position to get hit by those bullets, and I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Mocky even had time to pick up the kill onto, I forget who it was, but he managed to pick up a kill before he got the guy on the diffuser, and that's all with the Vector, so that just speaks as to how sort of blazing they were in that smoke. But we're going to see our first kitchen hold this evening, Ouroboros opting to defend the kitchen first. It is a very good bomb site to defend, and Jackie there picking up the Dockerby. So maybe Jacoby is partial to a little bit of Dockerby, and that's possibly why we see, or why we saw Dockerby banned in Chalet. Obviously, the long line of sight from service door down through kitchen and through service, through service into kitchen is a good line of sight for Dockerby to hold. And, obviously the ability to phone call and stuff like that can help with a roam clear.
Yeah, very disruptive. This is the point where you'd be looking potentially to have brought Glaz, but obviously off the board in those operator bans. So it just comes again to speak of how influential those can be. We've got a couple of roamers upstairs, but we've also got a couple of attackers that are going to be looking to move them. The drone's going in now. We've got Joe on Bandit, and we've got Corey on Jaeger playing the mirror up there. So they're going to try and hold people out for as long as possible. But as you can see, that hatch to the left is open, so they're certainly not going to want to give the lives up full stop for it, I don't think. They'll just try and waste all the time they can up there. We've also got Mad Mouse on Vigil in VIP, and so far, so good. They're in a minute 10 down, but Razor gets the kill onto Joe, so that's the first of those 3 roamers down, and it might be time for them to start thinking about their action from here and how they move away. They don't all want to give up their lives. Mad Mouse getting a good kill onto Razor to even things up though, and then in comes the Dockerby call, which is going to make it difficult. Jackie getting the kill onto Corey, so that's now 2 of 3 of those roamers with only Mad Mouse left. Just as I say it, Jackie comes in and gets the kill onto Mad Mouse, so that gives now complete upstairs control to Forze, 4v2, and all they have to do is start pushing onto site with a minute 20 to go.
Fantastic roam player from Forze there. I think the use of the Dockerby was brilliant. They managed to push the defenders out of the sites and the areas that they were holding very effectively, and now I'm pretty surprised that we saw Buck go downstairs. I would have very much expected him to start opening the floor up in VIP, although we did see him nip down on the rappel. Looks like we're going to do a little bit of drone work now and just figure out where these final defenders are. Mirror and Smoke, though, definitely capable. Oh, that's some poor Ash work there. They've lost a drone through to that Ash charge. That is unfortunate. But yeah, Mirror and Smoke, definitely 2 of the operators that you would like in this kind of situation. But as I say, that Jackie picking up, I believe, his 3rd kill of the round onto Heisenberg. And it's now going to be all up to Peter on the smoke. He does have his smoke grenades there, but he's going to get called at this stage, and this is where the Dockerby really does shine. You're able to pinpoint him up there, putting some shots above, but Peter picking up the 1st kill and picking up the 2nd kill, bringing this down into a 1 versus 2. So it is very much doable, but as I say that, Vatalin just picks up the kill onto Peter there with the Ash. Unfortunately, at that stage, they knew very well where Peter was, and it was, only a matter of time, really, as they caught him on a rotate. He did manage to clear out both the players from upstairs, though, and did only have Zafir and Ash to deal with. So, played very well, but just couldn't clutch out in the end. Heisenberg there, 8 and 4, I believe. But a standout round for Jackie. I think the Dockerby play there is definitely, the play of the round.
Yeah, I think sometimes the actual attacking clutches can be easier than the defensive clutches, as we saw there. Very difficult for Peter to just start rotating. What you want to do once you've got those first 2 kills, as X rightly said, they know exactly where you are. So what you want to do is you want to change that. But as a defender, it's difficult to do that in any sort of great measure. Obviously, you can change which side of the room you stood at, but it's often not enough because they're coming in and they're sweeping that room looking for you. Whereas on the attack, you can then say, right, I'm in charge of the clock. It's me that's playing against the clock here. So you move away from that area, you come round, you rotate, you make some noise somewhere else, you maybe come back again, and you can just keep the defenders guessing. Whereas if you do that on defence, what's going to happen? The diffuse is going to go down. So not always an option, but a very good try from Peter there. Interesting to see Jackie's performance, somebody that I commented on before the game. I wanted to see a few more kills from Jackie. Definitely a better player than he showed us last time, and I think he's just bringing that to the fore here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the standout play of the round was the Dockerby play from Jackie there. I think he picked up 3, possibly 4 kills, I forget. But just the timing of the Dockerby calls was perfect. We're going to see downstairs, Behold now, so we're going to see Sunrise and Blue. This isn't an objective that Forze chose to defend, so this can be the first time we're seeing this from Ouroboros. And Vitalin there picking up a amazing kill onto Corey. Just spraying through there as the Ash on the repel and managing to nick a cheeky headshot there onto Jaeger. It's plays like that you really want from you guys. You know, that's a really impactful kill in the first sort of 30 seconds of the round. Mirrors there going to be open. I'm not sure if that was by a friendly or not, maybe just trying to get a bit of a better line of sight, but the Dockerby call comes through. Vitalin picking up his second kill of the round onto Joe. He's doing very well in the roam clear, and Dockerby is going to be still calling, so you're going to have to answer that phone, otherwise it's going to keep on blowing up.
I don't know about Ouroboros, but I'm sweating just watching this defence. There's phone calls coming in, there's lifelines coming in, there's stunned. It's an absolute nightmare. Madmouse, though, managing to fight through all that disruption and disorientation to get a kill onto Mocking, bring us back to 3v4, and that's Vitalin that's going to be downed for the... Sorry to be picked up, just to reset him to 50 health there, and that leaves us still 4v3. But the attack just feels like it's stalled a little bit. It had a lot of momentum, and it's just slowed down now.
Yeah, definitely. I think that they've seen some early success, and now's the time where they can sort of take the time a little bit. We've got around a minute left on the clock, which is more than enough time. They've got the man advantage, and they want to sort of maintain that. Diffuser is in hand, and that's one of the most important things, that they've actually got the diffuser because they're now able to make the decision with it. Rise are there picking up the kill onto Heisenberg, so as we say that, they're going to bring this even further in their favour into a 4 versus 2 in favour of Forze.
Looking to get to match point now. They're going to be eager to close this out, and Vitalin just holding an angle there. He knows that the rotation might come as his teammates are pushing from elsewhere, but Madmouse getting a very tight peek onto Jackie, just killing one of those top fraggers from the last few rounds, but WTG gets Madmouse and just brings it to a 1v3. Vitalin knows where Peter is, but Peter still manages to get the kill, but he's again in one of those very difficult defensive 1v2 clutches with the diffuser down. So he's playing against the clock. Is he going to manage to get the kills here? They know where he is, and it's just going to be a matter of time until Razor sees him. But Peter moves in, gets the kill, brings him to 1v1. He's against the clock. He's got about 15 seconds to do this. He brings out the shotgun. Does he know where WTG is, who is now one shot? He's going to have to start thinking about getting onto the diffuser. I don't think he's even going to have enough time. He starts to go for it. WTG moves in, gets the kill. It was all just down to Peter not being able to find where WTG is, and that comes to something that probably happened in the first 5 seconds of the round, which was the attackers did their job and took out the static cams. If they hadn't been forgotten, you can see onto Office there, and potentially that's a different situation, but extremely good effort from Peter.
Yeah, WTG there with a nice little clutch with very, very limited health. It's always a tough one to pull off. You're desperate to peek. You're worried that they're already on the diffuser. You're trying to listen to what's going on, but kept his cool and showed us why he is such a good player. Fantastic play by Peter again, though, being one of the last alive. I mean, you can see there from the kills on the screen that everyone's doing the bit. Corey there with 5 assists, struggling to convert, but definitely getting the assists in for his team. And most of the time they can be just as important. But yeah, Peter there, the last alive again for his team, which is perfect. That's exactly where you want your smoke. But unfortunately, just not able to pull it off in those final seconds. And that's just really unfortunate. You know, had he had a gas canister at that stage and tossed it outside, I think that'd have probably done the job. It looked like WTG had probably sort of 5 health, you know, if that. So we are going to see a similar hold now, the exact same hold actually, blue bar and sunrise bar.
Yeah, and we've got a few up there in Hooker, just looking to, again, have an upstairs presence. So often can be decisive on coastline. So Joe now on Legion. We've got Corey up there, Madmouse up there. So definitely applying some resource up there to hold that upper floor. And the attacking team, largely the same as we've seen before. We've got Ashbook, Doc, Thermite and Twitch. And we've got Vitalin making a quick move on Ash for that aquarium repel that he managed to pick a kill up off last round.
Yeah, it is worth saying this is match point as well. So if Forze win this round, we will see Skyscraper. Skyscraper isn't a map that we've seen yet, and we've only seen a 3rd map once, I believe, so far. So it will be very exciting to take this to a 3rd map, and it looks like that's the more likely outcome at this moment in time.
And a fair conclusion.
Yeah, definitely a fair conclusion. I think that Forze have played very well on this map, and they do, at this stage, deserve the win. Obviously, the next 2 minutes will decide where we're going to go, but picking up the first kill onto Heisenberg, WTG, so that is going to be the most impactful fragger of Heisenberg out of the picture. He's doing a fantastic job of getting the kills, but it just isn't enough to convert into wins at this stage for, into round wins. So he's going to be off the board early doors, and calls from Dockerby are going to be flooding in.
Yep, up to the rest of his team to step up now. Corey on the roamers, Jaeger, the Mad Mouse has Ella. We've seen quite a few kills from Mad Mouse as well, so there's still some talent left on the board, but they're going to have to start picking up those kills. There's a little bit of HP missing off the attacking side. Thermite and Twitch there just suffering a couple of shots, but nothing major. Buck looking to open up the wall in Hooker there, but they know where he is. They've got him down. There's no notifications, so will Mad Mouse's Ella know that he's got him down? Yes, he moves in. He gets another kill onto Razor as well, so that takes Thermite and Buck off the board and stops that upstairs clear, taking things to Forze from Ouroboros. 4-on-3 now.
Ouroboros not going to want to go down without a fight here at all. And unfortunately, he was just looking to pick up his Legion Mine there, but Jackie managed to pick up the kill as Dockerby. So Legion there just needing to forget about that goo mine and just, wait for another one. Unfortunately, getting a little bit preoccupied. Another call coming in now from Jackie. This is a 3-on-3 and it's very tense. But as I say that, WTG takes out Peter. And unfortunately, despite Mad Mouse's best efforts of 2 quick headshots, they're now in an unadvantaged situation, and there are 2 versus 3 in favour of Forze.
Yes, and we've got Ash, Twitch and Dockerby left on the board versus that Jaeger and Ella, so it'll be interesting. I don't think either of those have moved back downstairs. No, they haven't. So the site is unmanned at the minute, but Corey gets us to 2v2. That's going to be 2v1 as Mad Mouse picks it up, so this could be an excellent play from the partnership of Corey and Mad Mouse. They're just waiting for Vitalin. Does he know that he's in such a difficult crossfire, and he could actually approach site if he had the diffuser? But he gets in there, he gets the first kill with the pistol, he moves towards Corey, but Corey gets the headshot onto Vitalin, takes out the Ash, and finishes the round to bring us 5v3. Ouroboros fighting back.
Very, very bit of weird sort of typical siege play there. I think Ash there just narrowly missing out on the kill straight away as she turned the corner. Seemed to put the headshots into Ella, but had come to the end of a clip, so pulled the pistol out and did manage to get the job before Mad Mouse had time to switch around. But Corey there keeping his cool and picking up the kill where it counted. He was definitely struggling for kills, but he had a hell of a lot of assists. I think he may have picked up 3 that round, so he certainly stepped up to the plate as well. Mad Mouse and Heisenberg there, pretty much going kill for kill, 1 on 9 and the other on 8. Ouroboros not wanting to go down without a fight here, and I don't think they're going to give this away all too easy. This is going to be one of the last defending rounds until we're going to switch it up again. So if they manage to pull this one out of the bag all of a sudden to get that momentum, maybe go back to where they've just been successful downstairs in Blue and Sunrise. But for now, we are going to see a kitchen hold.
Yes, 5 versus 3 in favour of Forze at the minute, but as you rightly say, Ouroboros just managing to get one on the board there and stop that, stop the flow of blood, if you will. And now if they can get another one here and get to 5-4, it certainly won't be an easy task for Forze. So we've got Ella upstairs, Mad Mouse just expending a bit of resource up there as well. Obviously wanting to defend Penthouse and Penthouse and VIP to stop that vertical option down into Kitchen.
Yeah, the vertical play also important. I think Buck has seen pretty much 100% pick rate all evening. I imagine that he's going to be one of the ones that's going to maybe see a little bit of a ban next, in weeks to come. Certainly won't surprise me. The vertical play you can get on Coastline is, it's game breaking really. It's one of the more enjoyable maps for playing vertically, let's say, especially out of the recent ones to be released.
Yep, no surprise to see such a high pick rate for Buck on this map. Like you say, any downstairs objective, and we've seen them all defended quite heavily upstairs, and it is one of those maps, much like Border, where you're going to want to get in upstairs and start opening things up, whereas your maps like Oregon, that's not always necessarily the case. You're working on the same level a lot of the time.
But again, no capital play, not a lot of smoke play. Maybe Dockerby has a smoke up her sleeve there, not too sure, but yeah, Dockerby there does have a smoke up her sleeve. But we're not seeing very many smokes or many plants from either side. We're seeing plants towards the end of the round, but Mocking there, picking up a kill through the wall on Heisenberg, so that can only be good drone work. So he definitely owes his teammate for that, possibly Jackie there, picking up the information on the drone and feeding it back. And that's what it's all about. Quality drone work, getting decent wall bangs like that, always makes a big difference. Corey is holding a pretty tight angle onto Hall of Fame, and he knows that there's a couple of guys there. Vitalin's going to take a little bit of damage there just to get a stun grenade in, which doesn't seem to do a lot. And it looks as though they're possibly going to push this together, although they are fragging it out, and Corey's going to drop the hatch. So drop the hatch, stay alive, live to fight another day, but be mindful of the stairs. Castle still holding this position. They're not too aware of the castle. But WTG picking up the kill onto Mad Mouse. So that will be... Mad Mouse obviously had a great round last time, so it's Ella out of the picture. Joe onto Mocking, then WTG straight back onto Joe, getting the trades, and, you know, being pretty dominant in this final round, all down to Peter and Corey again.
Yeah, Peter, the last surviving defender quite a few times now in those clutch situations. He's got to be wondering why his team's not looking after him better on site. But he's got Doc down there with him as Corey. So they're both on full health, and just essentially all they can do now is wait for the push. They're holding those angles. They've got the castle barricade up still. But with 40 seconds on the board, there is still time for them to work vertically. You've still got... I don't know if Ash has got any charges left, but Buck was in up there. But I don't think he managed to open up too much of the floor. And the diffuser has now been collected, and it's time to start just smoking things out. But smoke gets downed by the thermite charge, I believe. Quite unusual that we see that. Peter just getting taken out before Corey can get the energizing shot in there to bring him back to his feet. Vitaline gets in with the double kill, picks up the map for his team. That leaves us 1-1 on maps, and Forze take their own map of Coastline, taking us into a decider on Skyscraper.
Yeah, last week we were having a bit of a chat before the maps, and me and Netflix were talking, and Netflix said that, you know, Forze are very good on Coastline. Unfortunately, last week they did lose it. However, this week I would say that they have been very good on Coastline, and they've done exactly what they needed to do. There's a good spread of kills there between the team. Vitaline there picking up 11 kills and 6 deaths, 6, 7, 6, 6 for the rest of the team. So a fantastic spread of kills. Not to say anything, you know, against Ouroboros though. They held their own. They managed to pick up a couple of rounds, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't quite enough. Great individual plays from all of them, really. Peter, you know, longest surviving member, I'd say. Corey, Heisenberg, Mad Mouse, Joe, all picking up good plays in their own right, but not quite enough, you know, to make the difference there. And Forze taking Coastline, bringing us to a 1-1 map count, and we will be seeing another map. So we will be seeing Skyscraper.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing Skyscraper. I know a lot of people aren't too keen on it. We don't see it at Pro League very often, but just as a personal favourite, I really enjoy Skyscraper. I think in terms of watching it, I enjoy it because it is a bit different, because we don't tend to see it very often. So I can't think of... I mean, I think the problem with Skyscraper largely is there's sort of 2 viable sites. You know, but then again, in comes the operator bans, and you start seeing that meta shift a little bit. The teams will just be working out the operator bans as we speak, so we'll let you have them as soon as we do. But yeah, it's very, very interesting to see how the meta can change based on those operator bans. I mean, imagine Mirror getting taken off the board here. How does that change holding Geisha?
Yeah, Geisha's an interesting one. There's multiple ways on how you can opt to play a mirror inside with Jaegers, barbed wire, maybe someone playing underneath, you know, maybe a pulse playing underneath, or maybe playing with the hatch open and really try and hold Geisha until the last, and then, you know, dip out at the last minute, or just accept that you're probably going to lose your life in there, but you're going to try and get some kills before you do. But without a mirror, alternatively, you can always open Geisha right up and, you know, reinforce more of the objective wall that leads on to, I believe it's North Stairs, I think. And you can reinforce that wall fully, open Geisha right up, and then you get a few more angles in, and you can kind of head glitch off the stairs and stuff like that. But it certainly does change it. I think for me personally, my main problem with Skyscraper is just the fact that it tends to turn into a map of 2 halves. And what I mean by that is, if you defend Tea Room and Karaoke, it's not often that the other side of the map in Work Office, etc., is used for anything more than just a rotation. and it's kind of whichever team takes the initiative and uses that, kind of gains the advantage. And whether that's an attacker placing a drone there so that it can be watched or listened for if the drone gets shot, and then someone's flanking around, or if the defending team try to use that for their rotation between sort of drum downstairs. Maybe that's a vigil player that plays that. So always an interesting one. But like I do say, there's not all too much that goes on that other side of the map, especially when you're talking a tea room and a geisha. So you don't often see, many good engagements there. The engagements seem rather condensed, and there's a lot of windows on tea room and geisha and karaoke. It's very much reminiscent of sort of ground floor cafe or bar and gaming on Chalet that we saw this afternoon, earlier this afternoon. And that, but it's not quite as open as those. There's not as much potential purely because you've got a narrow balcony and a rappel, so you don't get those long lines of sight, but you do still get people that maybe jump in and try and get a quick plant off.
Yeah, for sure. And we've got those operator bans coming in, so we're going to see them very shortly. Do you think we're likely to see another Lion ban, or are we going to finally get to see how this nerf impacts him in the meta?
I think we'll see a Lion ban purely because it's been banned, previously multiple times. Although I'd be thinking now, right, we're 1-1. We're a very equally matched, set of teams. Maybe as Razor as the captain on Forze, I'd be thinking, right, who's had a standout play? Okay, Heisenberg's done fantastic on Twitch. Mad Mouse has done really good work on Ella. Corey's done good work on Ash. Joe's done fantastic work on Book. Peter's done great work on Hibana. Why don't we just take one of those out? Let's target someone who's done really well in the past, and let's take someone out, because this is the beauty of the op bans at this stage. You see, because we've gone to a third map, we're going to get live op bans right now from these teams. These haven't been pre-decided or anything like that, so you can really make a good judgment of anyone that's done anything stand out with an operator repeatedly throughout the first 2 games, and maybe see something, maybe see that influence the ban. And that's what I'd really like to see now. I'd like to see some really reactive banning almost. And I think from Forze that'd look like a book ban, just to target Joe, because I think Joe's been a fantastic book, and book can be massive on Skyscraper.
So yeah, I totally agree with you. Book can be absolutely huge, particularly getting underneath tea room and karaoke in the sort of restaurant and barbecue area, and just opening that floor up for the normal hiding spots, and you can cut those angles. You can hide in tea room and get an angle all the way through to geisha if you open the right. So yeah, that can definitely could be a big impact. But we've got the operator bans coming in now. So the first ban will be the attacker banned by Ouroboros, which is Dockerby. The second ban is the attacker from Forze, which will be Lion. And then we've got the defender from Forze, which is Pulse. And finally, Mute making up the lineup with Ouroboros. Rex, we've got Dockerby, Lion, Pulse, and Mute off the board.
Did Ouroboros ban Dockerby?
Ouroboros banned Dockerby and Mute.
Yeah, so I can understand that is, in fact, that's played into what I was saying. It's not the scenario that I played out. I played it out with the operator, but Ouroboros there have recognised that Jackie did a fantastic job with Dockerby. Dockerby was not in Chalet. Dockerby was in for Coastline. Jackie took massive advantage of that and had some really good standout plays, both with the weapon and with the ability. So I think that that's a good reactive ban from Ouroboros. They've banned Dockerby, who can be very handy on Skyscraper. So that's going to push Jackie onto a different operator. Obviously, Jackie's going to be comfortable on more than one operator. We saw that in Chalet. But it just shows that reactive banning can, it can happen and it can influence things. I'm not going to go as far as to say the reason that, Ouroboros won Chalet is because Dockerby was banned, but it's going to be it's a marginal gain, isn't it? If Jackie's on an operator that she's maybe not as disruptive on, it can change things. Lion again, unsure why that's banned, but we've seen it throughout the evening. So I think it's going to take a team to play with a Lion to show that, Lion isn't as impactful as he once was. And Pulse and Mute again. Mute a weird one, but Pulse pretty self-explanatory.
So, moving into Skyscraper, we are currently seeing a very tense game between Forze and Ouroboros. We've seen some excellent players so far. Different people, different ways. Heisenberg on the roam clear, particularly on coastline. Even though his team didn't win the map, still excellent standout players from him. Jackie also, as X has just rightly said, stepping up with those Dockerby kills for his team on coastline. The phone calls making a real nuisance of themselves. And that brings us to Skyscraper for the decider of this CCS EU Week 2 matchup between Forze and Ouroboros.
It is worth mentioning for anyone that has joined the chat a little bit later that unfortunately we did not see the first game go ahead this evening. Hooked were unable to play this evening, a few technical difficulties. So the match between Dislon and Hooked did not go ahead. So you've not actually missed anything. This is the only match that's going to be going ahead this evening. And as Ace has said, it has been an absolute brawl so far. And interesting to see their Heisenberg's mirror placement. We were talking in the waiting screen there as the teams were getting ready of the different ways that you can play the mirror into Geisha, and they have opted to reinforce Tea Room, open up Geisha, and play the mirror from there, which can be a really good place to play the mirror from. You sort of give up a bit of Geisha control early doors, but you get the long lines of sight that you can see through into Geisha with from Tea Room, and you're able to kind of play it without being at risk of a grenade or without being at risk of getting shot, from someone just entering kitchen straight away and shooting up through the floor.
WTG's Blitz pick just sneaking under the radar there and not being picked up yet, but we have seen our first Blitz player, so without him being banned as we've seen in previous weeks, let's see how much impact he can have. He's working in from the work office side, and he's obviously going to go on the roam clear to try and clear out Drum and Terrace, with Mad Mouse waiting in there as castle, but the door is castled off, and that's going to halt his progress a little bit. And the drone just coming in. Blitz going to work on that 11 hit, as you can see. Actually 4 of the Forze team all just working in towards that terrace, but that's excellent play from Mad Mouse. We all know how impactful Blitz can be as an operator, and he's taking him out there without being flashed, without receiving a shot, without anything, just by shooting underneath that castle barricade. Granted, he's getting picked up now, but that's 50 health, and it just makes him feel a little less invulnerable.
Definitely, Blitz there is going to be a slight bit easier to kill, but not by too much. Mad Mouse is going to be holding that angle, and hopefully he's going to be victorious against the Blitz. However, Blitz is there going to be pressuring onto Geisha a little bit, and it seems like the attackers are pushing pretty heavily from this Drum side. I'd like to see a rotate. WTG there picking up the first kill of the round, so that is going to be Bandit out of the picture. So that's Blitz seeing some early success. I think Bandit was there playing in Geisha, and possibly a bit of a lucky wall bang there, possibly off some drone information. But you can see here the difficulty of playing that mirror is Heisenberg there is able to see everything that he needs to see, but he's not really able to do much about it. And that is the trouble with when attackers push Drum, is the best way to do something about it is to flank and to go all the way around through work office side and that way. But a lot of drone work coming out now for Forze.
Mad Mouse getting the kill onto Vitalin, and as you rightly said earlier, X, definitely a map of two halves, and we can see that even in this first round here. You've got 4 of the attackers pushing through Terrace and Drum, you've got 3 or 4 of the defenders holding from Tea Room and Geisha, and then it just becomes this head-to-head. And Mad Mouse getting the kill there, Razor following up with one of his own, Jackie getting another onto Peter, so that leaves us in a 3v1. Shots coming in now, and Razor getting that final kill onto Heisenberg, leaving Forze 1-0.
Forze taking a very convincing round win there. I think the Blitz play was crucial for that. Blitz caused the exact amount of disruption. He got at least 1 kill, but Jackie seems to have come out of absolutely nowhere. I don't recall, I'm sure that there was, good standout plays from Jackie on Chalet, but I don't recall anything as clearly as I recall the recent coastline plays and that double kill there with Zafir. I think it was, she really, as an operator, really seems to come out of nowhere playing on Zafir, and that's fantastic to see. Some really good kills there, but pretty much similar lineup again. Seeing a Ying, we've seen a lot of operators we've not seen, but again, we're playing a map we don't often see. So again, we're getting the Ying, we're getting Blitz, and we're also getting the Frost. We did see a Frost last round, and that's a weird choice from Corey, I'd say.
Frost mats can be very dangerous. I think I think we all can agree on that. But yeah, definitely can be round winning, but it just depends how well they're drawn out and how well those call outs are put. If they put into unusual areas, they can be a little bit tricky. But players at this level, honestly, I'd expect those frost mats to be shot out 9.5 times out of 10.
You say that, but the infographic they released last week, or earlier, I think it was earlier this week, it showed that the frost mat placements of diamonds are like, or the effectiveness of diamonds out of 100 is the highest out of the whole, every tier of the game.
Yeah, you've got. I think it showed that you've got sort of a copper bronze level where you maybe expect with less map knowledge, etc. They're getting more effective, but then it drops through gold and low platinum. But then, like you say, plat 2 upwards, it starts to pick up again to maybe. I think it was 10 out of 100 frost mats will catch somebody at a diamond level. So yeah, definitely interesting to see how it plays out. Not something we often see in competitive play, but let's see if we get any injures.
Medics there giving us a fantastic overview of Skyscraper and its surroundings there as we pan around and really see what's around. But as we're moving into the round, we're quite a way into it now. We're sort of a third into the round, and the attackers in Forze are going for a very similar defense as they did last time. Very similar attack as they did last time. They've got the Blitz, they've got the Zephyr, they're going to push and drum, opening the castle, and this is where you're going to see the Blitz play. But Mad Mouse manages to pick up the kill onto Blitz, and is going to be ready to do battle with Zephyr. Peter there picking up the kill onto Razor, making it this second kill for Ouroboros. So they've learned what happened last time, and they managed to pick up another kill. So Joe managed to pick up a kill onto Jackie. All happening very quickly here.
Yeah, Mad Mouse just choosing to dip out there, takes the jump out of Drum. Oh, but Mocking moves in. Peter gets the kill onto Mocking. Vitalin trading out, getting the kill onto Mad Mouse. So that leaves us in a 4v1 situation. Vitalin with it all to do on the Ying there. Remember, Ying does not have smokes any longer. I believe that was implemented. So he's got the Claymore, and he's still got Candelas left, but he's got it all to do. You can see there, Heisenberg, Joe and Corey just holding angles. They know where he's coming from. But Joe goes down, so that's now 1v3, and this is what I was saying about the difference between attacking and defensive clutches. Ying now has the option, Vitalin on there, to start changing the angle of attack. So get one kill, move on somewhere else, get another kill, rotate to another angle, and just keep those defenders guessing. But there's 3 of them in there, they're all turtled in sight, and they are holding angles.
Yeah, very difficult now for Ying. That castle not really playing into her favour at all, and Heisenberg there picking up the kill. Ying, Vitalin there, and Ying kind of announced a presence a little bit, if you will, with the Candela through the castle. It wasn't very effective. Didn't really pick anyone up in terms of a flash, but again, very difficult job. To sort of clutch out that 1 versus 4, although making it into a 1 versus 3.
I thought quite interesting there was it was something I was going to comment on in the first round, was Blitz at that castle. Blitz got downed at the castle, and then if you recall, Zephyr came in and opened it up with the grenade launcher, allowing Blitz to then move in. And I thought maybe that was a bit of poor team comms, and they'd not really Blitz wasn't aware that Zephyr was coming that direction, so started trying to hit the barricade, resulted in him getting downed. Something that they adjusted for that round. It looked pretty slick, I think you'll agree. Zephyr got in there, bang, hit the grenade onto the castle. Blitz rushed in, flash castle, but Mad Mouse stood tall, got the headshot onto Blitz as a reactive flick there, so very good. But interesting to see that sometimes speed and aggression don't always pay dividends.
No, definitely not, and obviously, I think that Mad Mouse in Castle there was definitely expectant of that push again, and that's the thing about what we talk about a lot of the time on player tendency, and it might seem like we kind of labour it a little bit, but it is really important to kind of mentally get an understanding of your opponent and figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to push. Don't forget, these guys have played a lot of rounds at this stage. We've seen 2 games, we've seen 1 go to overtime, and they're going to be very familiar with who they're coming up against, how they're pushing, how they're holding. And I think that Mad Mouse there just holding really strong against that Blitz and standing up. Fantastic individual play there that round from him, and that can really be the difference between obviously there's a bit of luck involved in getting a kill on Blitz, and that isn't really something you want to have to say in a game as competitive as Siege. You know, I don't think any of us want to rely on luck, but I think getting a kill onto Blitz, sometimes you have just got to be a little bit lucky.
So Forze looking to push in a similar fashion. They've got Blackbeard there looking to try and clear Geisha out of any kills he can get early on. But we saw Ash over on the other side. Just WTG on Ash working through work office again and trying to clear that upstairs of the roamers. We've got Mad Mouse playing in Drummer's Castle again, so very similar approach from both teams. He's just going to hide out on the roof there now that castle's been taken down. Got a tight angle around the drum. He's just waiting for Medic to push in, and Mocking starts pushing in, and he just backs off after the shots come in. Corey just stepping up, helping Mad Mouse there, getting the kill onto Mocking, so that starts us on a 5v4, but refrag from WTG. Very, very nice angle just to pick up Corey, hiding behind that table there.
All going on, and that's going to move us into a 4 versus 4. However, Blackbeard is Blackbeard down? I think Blackbeard may be down, and WTG is super lit. No, I can hear Blackbeard's gone. He must be very, very minimum health. The attack seems to have stalled a little bit, really. The amount of progression that they've made and the way that they've chosen to, the way that Forze have chosen to attack this has been, you know, take control of that side of the map again, but they've not really managed it. And Mad Mouse, again, playing in Drummer's Castle. He's just waiting for WTG to push through, but WTG looks very reluctant. Jackie there picking up the kill onto Mad Mouse. That's going to be Castle off the drum. He was obviously up on the balcony. Manages to get taken out.
The problem is now they've got the kill on him up there. If he tries to play there again, they're going to be looking for it. Joe gets the kill onto Razor, evening things up. 3v3 now for Ouroboros. They were just at a man disadvantage, so that comes at the right time for them. Although saying that, Forze have picked up the diffuser now. Although they do have WTG on Ash, they've got Vital in on Blackbeard, and they've probably not got 10 health between them. So there's going to be a lot of work to do for them now.
Yeah, Jackie's got a lot to do now, and moving into the last sort of 20 seconds. It'd be interesting to see if they do manage to get a plant down. But Peter there with the smokes again. You know, he's alive when it matters as smoke, and I think that's a real good standout for a good smoke player. Joe there picking up the kill onto Vitaline, picking up a second kill onto WTG. Stats shows the very low players there, low hit points. There we go. Jackie doesn't manage to get inside in time, and you know, Peter there doing what he needed to do, picking up a couple of, you know, staying alive as the smoke, getting the smoke canisters out there, and Joe picking up the frags. Really good round again.
I'd be very interested to see Peter's average lifespan.
It's long for sure.
Peter is operating in the last 30 seconds of these rounds so frequently, particularly on the smoke. It's unreal. It's, you know, but he's not quite getting the kills. He's being left in a lot of those clutch situations. We see him moving on to the Jaeger this time. Maybe that will enable him to get on the roam from a karaoke tea room hold and just pick up a couple of extra frags. But very impressed with Peter's longevity. Sometimes that can be half of the battle. Is, you know, you can't affect the round if you're not alive. So by keeping himself there, you know, he's getting to have his say at least.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a statistic that I'm really interested in, and you know, when you see Ubisoft bringing out the infographics and stuff that they bring out, I'm always secretly hoping that it's the average lifespan one, and I think it'd be a really cool stat to sort of integrate, because as a smoke player, obviously the SMG-11 is a fantastic weapon. It may be seeing a little bit of a rework in the near future, but usually the norm for a smoke is to take the shotgun and to take the barbed wire and to take the SMG-11. You don't often run it with the, you know, the FMG, is it FMG-9? You don't often run the FMG-9 with the impact grenades, purely because it's not, you know, not as viable as the shotgun. So you do reduce your ability to be able to pick up kills. The shotgun is obviously capable of picking up kills, as is the SMG-11, but ammo is a bit of an issue in the SMG-11, and the amount of ammo you have in your clip isn't as much as you would possibly like sometimes. So to get kills as the smoke, it can sometimes be difficult, but certainly, you know, a big thumbs up for staying alive as long as Peter does, and managing to, you know, to influence the round at that late stage.
Yep, so Vitalin as Ash again just working his way quickly into kitchen. 40 seconds done, and they are starting to move into the building, and they are now looking to move anybody that's playing in Geisha, but they won't get anybody in there. The closest is Joe, and he's just playing further back into that doorway, so using his smarts and just keeping himself out of the way a little bit there, and he'll take these Hibana pellets off, so that is one Hibana shot wasted, but it will alert them to his presence.
Definitely, and it's just managing to get a cheeky down through the drone hole there and convert it. Great kill there for Joe with Bandit's gun, and WTG trading out, getting the kill onto Peter. So Caster's curse for Peter, unfortunately, buddy. As we're talking about how long you live, you end up dying a minute and a half into the round, but not a bad thing as the Jaeger, and certainly much easier to end up dying as the Jaeger as the smoke tucks up in the objective.
And how's that play from Joe? He gets in there in Geisha, he's just wasted about a minute 20 in the round. He's taken a Hibana charge off the board and then got a kill through the drone hole as well. Fantastic play from Joe. Meanwhile, Mocking getting the headshot onto Corey there, so that takes the Ella off the board. So that's Ella and Jaeger off the board, and the Rome game is largely done. Castle, Madmouse once again playing in that drum area. I think we're going to have to start calling him the Demon of Drum. He definitely likes to get in there. He gets another kill out of Drum onto Vitalin, and he knows the angles in that area back to back, no question. And he moves out, gets the kill onto Mocking, who was downed outside that window, leaving us in a 2v3 in favour of Ouroboros.
Absolutely. Joe there has done his job, but he's pretty limited health. I think Razor may now be sort of teeing up a bit of a plan, maybe looking to just get one more kill before they do so. Anyone that could possibly be holding an angle onto that balcony window, and he's found his first one. Heisenberg there with a single one-tap headshot. Heisenberg very unaware of his presence there, and obviously looking the total other way. Razor is still pressuring the window, and he's just looking to see if WTG can push anyone around as Zephyr with Zephyr's sort of Grismok grenades, if you will, before moving in for a plant. So the plant is now going to be going down, and WTG is going to be covering this perfectly with a bit of a crossfire. Manages to pick up the first kill onto Madmouse, and now Joe knows where he is, so Joe picks up the first kill onto WTG. This is a 1 versus 1. Joe has very limited health, and Razor is full. Razor's won this position very similarly before on Chalet by doing pretty much the same thing. I think it was even Joe that he was against, just sitting tight in that front doorway, and playing the angle as the defender tries to come through the door or go past it. So a great round from Forze. Nothing to be taken away from that. Bringing it all fair at 2-2, and this will be the last round of defense for Ouroboros. Madmouse 5 kills, Joe 6, Peter 2, Corey and Heisenberg 1 apiece. I think Corey tends to come out a little bit later on in matches. I've seen him struggling early doors, but getting some assists, and then he'll have a round later on where he picks up a few. Heisenberg there struggling to make anything happen, but it is quite a long time to be focusing for, and as we are in moving into the 4th round of the 3rd map, these players are certainly going to be getting a little bit fatigued at this stage, I'd say. Yeah, definitely. We're moving towards
not a million miles away from the 4th hour of the stream, just coming up to the 3-hour mark now. So yeah, I think the couple of standout players there for me was definitely that final kill from Razor. As you said rightly, he's done it before. I'm sure he'll do it again. He's just got himself there in a corner. He's not kill chasing. I don't think he's even feeling the pressure there. He's just sat waiting. Joe moves in and he gets the kill and finishes the round for his team. Very, very good example for the captain to set. I think the other one for me had to be that kill. I think it was Razor through karaoke window onto Heisenberg. I don't think he could believe his luck. I think he saw his head twice and maybe just thought it was part of the bomb or something, and then went back and thought, I'll take a 1-tap on that. And that was Heisenberg down, a little bit oblivious.
Yeah, it's really easy when we got the spectator outline and stuff like that. Things seem a lot more obvious than they are. You look at that on your own PC at home, and you'll see that that's a pretty difficult thing to just spot, especially with how quickly these players are going to be glimpsing windows and stuff. They're not sitting there and having a good look. They're having a quick peek and then jumping back behind cover because they don't want to expose themselves for too long. So Heisenberg there just getting caught looking the wrong way. But once again, we've got Madmouse playing in drum. Now, again, this is going to be a player tendency. I'd love to see someone go in through the main door, throw a grenade up to drum, and get him out of there straight away.
Yeah, I just think he sits there with no fear. He's got Peter up there with him as well, which would beg the question whether there is a Jaeger ADS just in there as well to help defend him from that potential grenade. But they know that there's trouble coming. As soon as they open that, Peter gets the kill straight away onto Jackie. So that's Sophia opening the door up and dying almost instantly. And then Mad Mouse just keeps going, fighting that blitz, holding him off. But WTG gets the kill onto Peter, Vitalin getting the kill onto Mad Mouse, so that clears Drum and just leaves that side open for Forze to start pushing through in this, their final attacking round, and Blitz is still alive and full health. Vitalin this time on the Blitz instead of WTG.
Yeah, this is the furthest that the Blitz has sort of got, hasn't it, I think? Both times really getting killed out pretty quickly by Mad Mouse there, but again, a bit of a difficult one. Mad Mouse there, struggling to get the kill onto the Blitz, and I think that just goes to show about that small element of luck you need when you're attacking a Blitz. And as we've said, that isn't something that you really want to have to, rely on.
No, I mean, Corey there, as you saw, he's surely going to have the best opportunity of all attackers on the ACOG. And he gets the shots on or around the hand. No damage to Vitalin, or very, very little. So Joe just contemplating a run out here. He's going to go for it, but he he gets the kill onto Mocking. So that's great aggressive play from Joe, just to grab the game and start pulling it in Ouroboros' favour. Gets a second kill onto WTG, and Joe is going off here.
Joe's having a fantastic Skyscraper, and it's good to see he's been playing really well on the book, and now he's coming onto the Bandit on Skyscraper and really making some damage. I think that he picks up the kill onto Vitalin with the headshot. That will be Blitz off the board. He's pretty low now, but he's done his absolute utmost in this so far, and I'm not sure if he is on for an ace or not. I think he's certainly on a 4K.
You couldn't expect any more from Joe, as you say. Corey there getting the final kill. Yeah, it wouldn't have been an ace. Peter had that first kill onto Sophia, but Joe just stepping up, picking up 3 in the middle of the round. Like you say, starting it with the aggressive run out, finishing with the headshot on Blitz. What more can you ask for?
A Claymore for Hibana, please. That just goes to show the recent changes. Joe was a little bit reluctant there to run out, and obviously Hibana has had a Claymore for since she was released, but now no Claymore, breaches or stuns, and that's the difference on those kills. But it is what I say. It is what I said earlier when we were talking right at the start of the evening. Is the same result is achievable. You've just got to work more as a team. That window could have still been Claymored for Hibana to safely operate outside of Geisha, but as a team, you've got to communicate that and you've got to work it into your plan a little bit more. And unfortunately, there just wasn't a Claymore there that time. But we're moving in now to Forze's defensive phase on Skyscraper. Ouroboros there coming out of their defensive phase on top. And Forze now looking to hopefully do the same. They're moving into Karaoke and Tea Room. And again, we are going to see a Frost. And a Blitz.
I wondered how long it'd take for the Frost to come up, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's obviously just more popular on this map. I think there's more spots like that where you can see very, very dark, very difficult to see those mats, especially if you're rushing in the last 30 seconds. There's a lot more windows used around the objectives for late entries, I think, on Skyscraper. It just seems to lend itself to it a bit more. So still, I think we are yet to see an injure from Frost, though, so we'll see how long they persist with it. I know she does get a lot of them.
I get a lot of injuries. Yeah, I think that the Frost play on Skyscraper is crucial because it makes the attackers make a choice. They've either got to choose to shoot the Frostmat out, or they've got to choose to pre-fire the angle that they're going for. But Corey's going to make an early entrance into Bathroom there, and unfortunately doesn't manage to get out on the first exchange, but does manage to pick up the kill onto WTG. So that's the wrong play there for Blitz. Spent quite a bit of his life doing so, and but does manage to get that first kill onto WTG. So early advantage there for Ouroboros.
Surprising blitz play there from Corey. Getting in there, he got the flash, missed the kill. He was taking shots from behind. I really would have expected him to go down at that point, but no, he managed to get the kill onto WTG and then turn around and continue the fight with the operator on stairs. So excellent blitz play from Corey, and a disgusting headshot from Corey through the rafters there on the vertical kill. In comes the C4, but he manages to get his shield. At this point, can anybody stop Corey? That is surely the question.
That headshot was disgusting. With a pistol, no scope, all that sort of stuff. Corey there finally getting taken out by Mocking as the Jaeger, but that headshot was absolutely mental, and I don't think I've seen anything like that. That's probably the kill of the game, kill of the evening. Corey coming out with the clutch blitz plays, and now this is leaving us in a 4-3 advantage for Ouroboros. And are they going to be able to close this round out? There's a bit of vertical play going on now. We're seeing Joe again on the book. He's been very effective on the book all evening throughout the maps, really. Grenades coming up now to just try and push Mocking out of there, but Mocking pretty safe in the corner. Second grenade going to come in now, and it is going to do a small amount of damage onto Mocking, but not too much.
Manages to clear the bandits off the wall at the same time. A nice little added extra though. If they could maybe, if they were aware of that, start moving Hibana around there and just create another angle into that objective, it would certainly move Jackie along. But yeah, that back to that headshot from Corey. That was unbelievable. Somebody's got to get that clipped. I want to see that back.
Yeah, definitely. The attackers now are taking a long time to sort of deal with these last 3 defenders. They've got the man advantage, so you'd like to see a little bit more aggression. Stun grenades coming in there, and Peter managing to pick up the kill. So that's going to take us to 4 versus 2, but not before Vitlin gets the kill onto Mad Mouse, making it 3 versus 1 now as Heisenberg gets the kill onto Vitlin, and I think the plant is not managing to go down. Jackie there clutching it out for the round and managing to, against all odds, pull that one out. Frost, C9 there, coming in clutch. And that just goes to show that when you've got the man advantage, you've got to execute on it. You've got to work on getting that diffuser down and put the clock back on the defenders. Because at the in that situation, Jackie did everything that he needed to do there and got the kills, stayed alive, made it awkward to plant. Great round.
What a round of individual plays you've got. It starts off with Corey firing in with the blitz, taking that headshot through the ceiling there. Beautiful play on blitz. But then you get Jackie in the last 5 seconds, turns around, gets 2 kills into karaoke as the diffuser is about to go down. Stays alive then for the last second or 2, closes out the round and clutches it up for Forze. Unbelievable round. I think that's one of the best rounds that we've seen tonight, certainly, if not in CCS EU so far.
Just a really good individual clutch, I think. Obviously a good round, like you say, with the plays early doors, but a good individual clutch from Jackie, just doing what was needed in order to win that one. And just going to show that it's not always about getting all the kills. You've just got to get some of them and get the diffuser down in an awkward place, pick up another, and then get to the point where all you've got to do is stay alive. And often that can be something that is overlooked. But seeing a Blackbeard this time.
Yeah, Blackbeard coming in almost certainly to work on that single window just opposite tower. Valk getting a quick run out there to get 2 external cams. We'll have to see how long they managed to survive for, but they were well placed on the top of the roofs there, so they might get missed. Yeah, Blackbeard going up to that single window as expected from East Garden, and we are seeing a castle strat here, something I quite like for this site. So you've got double door castled off with a rotation put in next to it, and it just stops that line of sight. And Doc's going to watch with his ACOG, maybe see if he can pick up a cheeky kill onto that Blackbeard at the window, but it's definitely a big ask.
Yeah, it's a pretty naughty angle that WTG's holding there, especially because someone else is holding it from behind the bar as well. And possibly here we're going to see a little headshot there, but Corey does manage to get the kill. The shield of Blackbeard there just doing all it needs to do. Heisenberg picking up a kill onto Vitlin as well, just as Corey was getting run out on. So great teamwork there, good communication, and that was Vitlin there as the Valkyrie. So that would suggest that the cameras haven't been taken out just yet, and that maybe the intel's still there, but just couldn't act on it, unfortunately.
Yep, great plays so far from Ouroboros. It just goes to show, these rounds you can't tell, this game you can't tell. Ouroboros Forze very evenly matched. We're seeing an absolute brawl, and it's just so entertaining to watch so far. Interesting mirror setup. I've never seen that one before, looking in opposite directions, but I'm sure it'll have its purpose. Let's see how important it proves to be as Dragon Wall gets opened by Peter on the Hibana, and the attackers now starting to apply more pressure. 5v3, and they're looking to get angles directly onto site. It's going to become very difficult for these defenders to move before long.
Yeah, definitely. I think Corey, they're getting another person down, getting Ray down as the smoke. So that's going to lead us to Jackie there picking up the kill onto Mad Mouse. Smoke is going to get revived by Mocking. So we're pretty much equal. We've got a 4 versus 3 in favour of Ouroboros, but very limited time left on the clock now. Smoke, having been picked up, can get those all important toxic bays out. And this mirror placement's really interesting. Like you said, Ace, back to back, you don't often see it. Whichever side the attackers gain, control of, we're going to be able to open it. And I'm not really sure about that one.
Yeah, that's it. Dragon Wall been opened. It means now they've got a direct line of sight through that mirror as well. So that just gives another angle for the defenders to need to be aware of. But that being said, Mocking comes out, gets Joe on the book. Corey trading out by getting one onto Razor. Heisenberg gets another, and Peter finishes things off with the final kill onto Mocking. And that is an attacking win for Ouroboros.
I'm sure Peter gets 90% of his kills with this Bearing 9. Whenever you see his name in the kill, it's always that Bearing 9 symbol.
I'm pretty sure every Hibana gets 90% of the kills with the Bearing 9.
Yeah, it's because the Type 21's got no ammo. No, really good round there. We're going to see a blitz on Corey again. We've got Joe there, 9 kills, 4 deaths. Corey, 6 and 4. Mad Mouse, 5. Peter, 5. Heisenberg, 4. But again, on Forze, a good spread of kills again. Everyone's sort of between the 3 and the 6 range. So really nicely spread out. Everyone pulling their own weight. And this is shaping up to be just as entertaining as the previous 2 matchups.
For sure. I have no idea which way this is going to go. We're now at 4-3 with 3 rounds away from overtime potentially. And it wouldn't surprise me if we get there. So nice drone being taken out early on by Valkyrie there, just as it was scooting past outside Tea Room. Going to reinforce Geisha now and just try and defend that wall again, I'm sure. The last thing you want to do here really is just be giving up control of Geisha too soon. Razor just opening up that line of sight underneath the bottom of Tea Room, so it makes it... that was exactly how Jackie got that clutch last time, I think, really. She could see everything, Frost could see everything that was going on and just managed to pump bullets through the wall and got it closed out. So interesting to see how the attackers approach this time. Are we going to see that influential blitz play from Corey? Although, to be honest, it was pretty specialist, and I don't think you do that every round.
And that's an extremely polite way of putting it. That wall between Karaoke and Tea Room, it's just something you have to open up. Karaoke is an absolute, it's a box, and as soon as you start reinforcing it, every reinforcement you just give the advantage to the attackers a little bit more. So we've got Joe downstairs going to be droning out for Corey, as Corey is doing a pretty signature, blitz roam clear, if you will. He's looking for that headshot again, but doesn't manage to pick it up. Takes quite a bit of damage from the stairs, so the defenders are very aware of what's going on here, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone jumps down off the drum to pick up Corey in the back, possibly Mocking. But Mocking obviously playing a little bit more conservatively. It looks like Corey's still trying to get that nasty angle through through the holes in the floor, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it or not. I think it's onto the mirror that's playing the mirror looking at the stairs. Mirror does seem rather unaware of it all. Joe now going to be opening up the floor and managing to pop the mirror glass. So WTG in a very precarious position in the objective round. It looks like they've had a bit of a role swap again. WTG picking up the mirror and Mocking picking up on the Jaeger. Those guys usually play the other operators, but good to see the flexibility again.
Yeah, you can see we've got 4 defenders on site there, and it's basically allowing Joe and Corey as Blitz and Buck to just be downstairs, opening things up at will. So, to be honest, I'd really like to see a bit more of a roam game here. Get somebody downstairs. I tell you now, Joe, as somebody who plays Buck, at this point, Joe feels comfortable. I don't remember the last time his scope looked down, so you're going to get an easy kill onto him. He's not preparing for an assault from the same level, so if they could get somebody down there, maybe jumping out a drum, as you said, I think they get Buck and Blitz both quite easily.
Mocking there, picking up a kill onto Joe, just as you were saying, at Caster's Curse. And WTG is going to be waiting for Corey, as Mirror does manage to pick up the kill. Quickly, this is falling in Forze's favour. All down to Mad Mouse and Heisenberg. Mad Mouse picking up the first kill onto Vitalin, trying to make this happen, and it looks as though Heisenberg is going to pick up the second kill. Oh no, it's a down. Picks up the down onto WTG as Mirror, but it's going to be tricky to convert that because of all the eyes on him. Razor there is watching the window, and Razor is holding a pretty tight angle, and Heisenberg doesn't manage to get the kill. Razor there in his telltale, holding doors and windows at super tight angles, getting that kill. And now the smoke grenades come out, and this is really going to limit Mad Mouse's ability to get anything done here. He does not have the diffuser in hand, and there is a very short amount of time on the clock. So Mad Mouse now faced with potentially getting 4 kills to win the round. Gets the trade. Well, they trade each other out, I guess. They manage to kill each other, but unfortunately for Mad Mouse, not really able to convert that round. And another good round for Forze. Bringing it all fair at 4-all.
Yeah, I think it comes back to something that we've already said as well. Diffuser down in a very, very difficult position to retrieve it there, just outside of T-room window. As soon as Razor knew that, he just kept the hard angle on it, waited for them to approach. 2v4, certainly not impossible, especially when you've got an oppo there who can work with you, give call-outs, and just trade out and create crossfires, so certainly not impossible. But when you have to retrieve the diffuser from somewhere like that where there's so much cover available and the defenders are going to be well aware of it, it makes it very, very difficult.
Definitely difficult indeed. So we're going to be moving in now to round number 9, and we're going to see work off his side be defended by Forze. Now, seeing a Capcan at this stage in the game, having not seen a Capcan pretty much all night, I want to go as far to say, it's not going to be something that you're going to be expecting, and I definitely think that Capcan's going to get some hit points. As the attackers at this stage, they've got an IQ, they've got they've got an Ash. IQ is obviously going to be able to detect these these Capcans and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure that Vitalin's going to get some hit points from this. Success.
I agree for sure. I think, as you said, you've got to remember we're getting towards the 3-hour mark now for the players, so fatigue starts to play and have an effect as well. And when you haven't seen a Capcan all night, you're just not looking out for them the same. And like you say, they're so focused at this point at 4-all. They know that one round here could definitely be the difference between winning and losing this. And believe me, when you're 1-all and you're 4-all, nobody wants to be losing it. They are going to fight with their lives for this, no doubt. And yeah, that's the perfect time to start picking a Capcan.
Yeah, without a doubt. So I'm interested on the IQ pick. We've not really seen IQ much at all, really, on this skyscraper, and that's also something that I'm pretty surprised at. Oh, obviously we've got the IQ for the Valkyrie cameras. How silly of me.
I think they've been suffering to the Valkyrie cams a little bit,
definitely.
So not too much of a surprise, but it's almost perfect timing. Without knowing it, the IQ potentially going to pick up on those Capcan traps, so that could well be an incidental but very well timed pick. Corey getting more joy on that window. We've seen him do it previously with the Blackbeard. Gets the kill onto Vitalin, so that takes the Capcan off the board, but his job will largely be done at this stage. Still, the man count then going in favour. Corey just deciding it's time to get off that window. But IQ, it looked like Joe's IQ just being taken down there. So if they can get the kill just to finish off, the smoke coming out but can't quite reach Peter and Joe, who picks up IQ. And that leaves us in a 5 versus 3 in favour of Ouroboros, with Mad Mouse just getting a kill onto Jackier's castle there. Corey now working a hard angle through that objective window. Mocking just lying down under the exhibition window, hoping for a bit of joy as somebody starts trying to open up and get angles onto sight.
Mad Mouse there, unfortunately, getting distracted by the castle, I believe it was, that was running through, and or maybe the smoke, and WTG picking up the kill. Razor picking up the kill on Speeder. Corey trading that straight back out. 2 versus 3 in favour of Ouroboros. And are we going to see Ouroboros take the lead here in this late stage? Mocking there directly under the window, gets taken out by Heisenberg. So it is all to do for WTG. He has got very limited health, but we have seen a bit of a problem this evening with teams getting the diffuser down as attackers. So, as I say that, Corey managed to pick up the kill. I think Corey got a 3k then. Fantastic round, picking up the kill. And, as the Blackbeard with that SR25 doing what is needed.
Yep, I think Ash got a little bit unlucky coming into Drum, as you rightly said, was just distracted by Castle as she came through that doorway, so it left her in a position for an easy kill. I think, again, though, maybe, just a little lack of sort of drone work there, not knowing that there was 2 in there. That being said, we then saw, I think, some excellent drone work to pick Frost up underneath the window of exhibition, and Mocking, I think it was, no, it wasn't Mocking, sorry, Madhouse just coming in and picking up the kill there through the window onto the waiting Frost. So, moving on, we are 5 versus 4. This is match point in favour of Ouroboros, and I'm sure Forze are going to fight with everything they've got because they are not going to want to lose this one after 3 hours of play.
No, certainly not. Jackie there, last time we played this objective, I believe, clutching it out for his team. So what I'd like to see this time from Ouroboros is I'd like to see them take the diffuser to a decent place. I don't want to see it in the middle of the corridor. I don't want to see it anywhere other than maybe outside a window, on a balcony, somewhere that makes a lot of sense. We've seen a Vigil play this time from Vitlin, but we are not seeing a Blitz on the other side. So Blitz is not going to be used to clear roamers, but Corey is going to be used to hold, Corey's going to use Blackbeard to hold angles on windows. I think that Vitlin could see some success here because of the way that this objective has been attacked previously. Hanging out in work off his side could certainly pay dividends for a late roam.
They are definitely learning from what they've seen before. We've seen so much action on this objective coming from work off his side and moving through terrace and drum. I think largely one of the reasons for that is I don't know if they have claymored off behind them as they've gone. That's the early kill from Vitlin, well predicted from X there. Gets the kill onto Corey, taking the Blackbeard off the board early on, and that's just going to make them very aware. He's rotated back to site, having taken quite a lot of damage, but his job is largely done. That's going to definitely slow down any push from that side, if not make them avoid it completely.
And that just goes to show that Corey as a player has been very predictable this evening. He's gone to that north window again. He's had good success on there as Blackbeard in the past, albeit playing a different objective. But why wouldn't he go back there? So I think Vitlin's called him out on that one, really, and that's been a place that's been entered very frequently by Ouroboros, maybe with little to no drone work going on. But as a Vigil, it doesn't really matter because he's got his scanner. So I think that's a really good reactive play and a really good. I like to see an operator picked for a specific purpose like that. I feel like it's worked out really well.
Great start for Forze as well. You've got to remember they are down to match point here. If they lose this one, then they have lost the fixture. And they're stepping up. They're saying, let's see what you've got. We're going to get an early kill. We're going to start putting some pressure. I would like to see somebody challenging this book downstairs this time. I'll be honest, Zophia's down there with him. And again, they're just giving them free roam to open up that floor. They'll open up the mirrors. It makes it very, very difficult then for the defenders on site.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was WTG last time that came down, or Mocking last time that came down and took Joe out, but not before he'd taken out all the floor. So yeah, definitely got to get down there a little bit earlier and do that, or really try and challenge from one of the many holes that he's making upstairs. But it does seem like these defenders are turtling just a little bit, but then again, they don't really need to do anything at this stage. They've got to wait for the attackers to push them, and you don't really want to go, getting a bit reckless with it all. WTG there narrowly missing a kill onto Joe as the book player downstairs. Joe taking quite a bit of damage for his troubles, and we've got Peter at the window. Is he going to be able to pick up any kills?
I sort of feel like Ouroboros are doing some good work here, but they're doing 90%. They just don't know what the last 10% is with this site. They're opening it up. They're not really getting kills from it. They're covering angles on the window there from Peter, manages to get the kill onto Razor, but where is the progress in terms of the diffuser, and where's it going to get planted in the next 15 seconds?
Yeah, Peter's got absolutely no health there either. He's going to get taken out straight away by WTG. Mocking coming out and taking out Madman. So this is going to be 3 versus 2. Diffuser not in hand. Last 2 kills coming out. Vitlin and Jackie both doing their bit. Defenders won round 10, so I'm sure this is going to go all the way.
Well,
give me overtime.
Yeah, we're already there. We're on overtime now. This will be infinite overtime, as we've said. Those are the new rules coming into Pro League, but being played here already in CCS EU. And we will see 2 rounds on attack, followed by 2 rounds on defence. We'll see who is doing what first. It would appear that Forze is going to be defending for their 2 rounds first, which I think is going to suit them just fine, considering that they've just got themselves to overtime on the back of defence.
Yeah, definitely. I've been keeping a I've not been keeping as good a track on it this evening of who's been winning attack and defensive rounds. But I think there that Forze showing that they've got what it takes to be able to lock it down in that tier room objective, and definitely getting the early kills has been a good testament to that. Ouroboros there struggling on that last attack, but historically they did very well in the work office and theatre side, or work office and museum side. So we'll have to see what comes out for us there.
Yeah, we've just got a small technical difficulty. I think Medics, as the observer, has just had a little game crash there. So he's going to be organising a rehost for the overtime. So in the meantime, we will keep you entertained and discuss what we've seen so far in the game. And I'm sure they'll be back with us just as soon as they can. But yeah, interesting so far to see. I didn't expect anything else from this match. I think we called it at the beginning, really, to say that it was going to be, going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, the first week, last week, Ouroboros played Dislon and Forze played Identity. And I think that it's fair to say, and most people would agree, that both these teams lost to better teams last week. And that's unfortunate to sometimes have to say, because obviously, but someone's got to be the better team, and I think that these teams just didn't have it quite all together last week. However, they're very equally matched toward each other, and this is going to be a really big, big decisive overtime now to see who takes this first clash between these two teams, because there's a lot of raw talent and ability on both sides. Both sides have got fantastic individual plays and fantastic, team plays as well. Tonight we've seen just about everything. So, with how long the games have been, we've seen all sorts coming, getting pulled out the bag, long overtimes, 3 maps. So I think you've really had a good chance this evening to see both these teams at the best. And it really is, I can't call it at this stage. I don't know who deserves it. And I don't really know who I want to win either, because it's so difficult to decide. There's been such good plays from both sides. It's difficult to pick a winner or a favourite.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's also worth saying, as you commented there, we've already had overtime once. This is the second map out of 3 going to overtime. It's been a long game for the players, but if anything, it doesn't seem to be slowing down, in my opinion. If anything, it's picking up. We're getting, even crazier kills. They're really starting to fight for it, and they obviously really want it. As you said, they've both gone down to good performances from on the night, potentially better teams. Not to say, that they are full stop better, but on the night they were better. So I think they both have a point to prove, and I think they're both desperate to do it, and that's what we're seeing here. And definitely coming into this, fighting for every kill that they get.
Yeah, I think I'd have to watch it back to be sure, but I feel like there's been more clutch situations in this last map on Skyscraper than there has been, previously, purely because people really wanting to try, and I just get the feeling people are really trying to win on Skyscraper now. It's not a very competitive map in a lot of people's eyes. It's probably not a lot of people's favoured map, but it's made its way in this evening. And they're going to town on it. They're making the most of it. And I think both teams are really, pulling out all the stops, like you say, to make sure that they get this second, fixture win under their belt, if you will.
Yep, and we are just waiting for the players to load back into the lobby, so we will be back with you very shortly. I understand for some of you EU viewers it's going to be getting a little bit later in the evening now, but please do stick with us. This is the conclusion to a fantastic match so far. We're going to be bringing it to you very shortly, and I know I, for one, cannot wait to see how this one pans out. 5-5. Just heading into overtime, Forze and Ouroboros, 1 apiece on the final map of what has definitely been a thriller with some of the biggest players we've seen. What have been your favourite couple of players that spring to mind so far, X, over the night?
Definitely one of my favourite players on an operator level has been Buck on Joe. I think he's been influential in what he's done. And picking for the other side, I'm going to have to go with Jackie Dockerby on Coastline. Joe's done a fantastic job on Buck all throughout the evening. opening the floor on Chalet, getting things open on Coastline and on Skyscraper. But for me, the standout play has got to be Jackie in the way that Dockerby was played on Coastline. That was just, pretty special to me. But it does look as though we have got all of our players and the game is all set. Let's switch it back to Skyscraper. Remember, we're in overtime, so it is a 5-5.
We've got, as we said, Forze on defence. First of all, they've just come off a very good defensive win in the Tea Room objective, so they're going straight back there now with Karaoke and Tea Room again, so maybe looking for a little bit of a mental game. This is the first time we're going to see a Montagna picked by Joe, or anybody for that matter tonight, so I'm not 100% sure what the plan is going to be there. A difficult one for Montagna. There's no door push to make, so he'll have to go in through a window potentially, so that's going to be interesting to see exactly how they approach that. We have got Frost again, which could play right into that. Very difficult for Montagna sometimes to get through the window and to take the Frostmat out on his way through. Not too sure about that pick.
No, I'm not sure about that. It's for someone who I've just praised for doing such a good job all evening on Book. I think that with Forze going Tea Room again, Book could have been a much better pick. But I'm not sure if they're gonna try and sort of get some map control with it. But then again, they've not got the smoke in Ying, so it's going to be a tough one. I'm not sure what that's picked for, but I'm sure it's a specific purpose. And we're in overtime now, so it is worth saying that the team has to win by 2 rounds. And this could be the time where we see a little pocket strat come out now. We've got the Monty with the smoke, diffuser in hand. Let's see what Joe's going to be able to do with this. And are we going to be able to add another operator to his repertoire for this evening?
That's it. Sometimes fortune favours the brave, but as you say, Joe, been downstairs getting a lot of success with the Book, so that's going to be something that they're missing this time, is those vertical plays. But as I commented last time, they were getting a lot of sight opened up, they were getting a lot of things done like that, but they just didn't seem to have that final 10%. It was 90% of the way there, opening all the lines of sight up they needed vertically and on the same level, but just not really making that final push over the line, and then eventually falling onto the defenders' angles and being taken out. So maybe Monty's just going to disrupt that and make it a little bit more difficult for the defenders to hold them angles.
You can see Ying there just seeing if she can see if there is a Frostmat under the window in Tea Room, but losing the drone in the process. Again, we've got the defenders pretty turtle. We're all on site. We've got a pre-placed smoke canister. So if Monty does decide to jump in, he is going to be greeted with that toxic gas. A bit of a tough one, this. I can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get that plant off relatively quickly on the other side of that window. And there's the first smoke grenade coming out. So we see Monty now is going to be taking up a position on backstairs and baiting out yet another smoke grenade, but going to lose a lot of health in the process. Pretty much half health going to be gone in the confusion. It seems as though Peter has managed to get the mirror open and use his shock drone for that purpose. So we've got Blackbeard now as Corey holding an angle. Ash Charge comes in, possibly destroys the welcome mat, definitely destroys the barbed wire. And it looks as though Razor's maybe got 1 smoke grenade left. And Joe's going to be receiving a little bit of fire. But for them getting this multiplayer, they've not gained any more control than they have done in previous rounds, just from taking, good map control.
I think their aim is to get Monty through. It seems like they want to get Monty through that single window and then get the plant down. But with Razor there, all he needs to do is remain patient, because once Monty goes in there, if the gas comes out, he's got nowhere to go. He can't get away from it. When you're going through a single door, you can just back out straight backwards, but through the window he doesn't have that choice and he won't be able to do it quick enough. So that is an essential kill from the Ying there, just to take the Monty out, and that is Razor down, but Heisenberg also loses his life in the process.
It doesn't look like the bomb's actually going down at this stage. Vitalin's down in the objective, but unfortunately, I think Heisenberg did a great job of pushing smoke out there. Smoke was out of canisters, which was fortunate. But again, this is a situation where the diffuser's gone down in a position where it's going to be impossible for him to do anything with. Looks like we've got the first kill there. I'm going to apologise, I didn't see who it was, but for some reason I'm not getting the kill feed come up. But it does look as though we're going to not see the bomb get planted and the defenders are going to win the round.
Yeah, great first round for Forze there. As I say, I think I think Ouroboros thought that they had a plan with the Monty, but as I say, very, very difficult. Even when they did get inside that window and got the smoke cleared out, a lot of time had been wasted, and the defenders just fell back into that position and just blitzed it, really. Just crashed in with the fire, made it very difficult. And once the diffuser goes down in that corner behind the single window, you might as well forget about it. It's unlikely that you're going to get that picked up and get the plant off.
Yeah, I think the Monty there hurting him. Joe there taking his time to decide who he's going to pick and chooses the Monty again. So this it is worth mentioning. This is match point for Forze. Obviously, they're not going to be able to go to Tea Room again. They're going to have to go down into Barbecue, it would seem.
Barbecue and Kitchen.
So we're going to see a Barbecue and Kitchen hold and no Thermite. Thermite is... I don't know what's happened, really, to Ouroboros. It seems like, out of nowhere, Corey's all of a sudden come into this map. He's no longer picking his usual Ash. He's picking sort of Blitz or Blackbeard or something like that. Joe's now all of a sudden switched over onto a Monty. Mad Mouse has switched from kind of, I don't know, I want to say like, he played a lot of Jackal maybe in previous maps and stuff like that. Now he's on the Ash. It just seems like they've had a little bit of a role swap, whereas Forze have remained pretty steady as to what you would expect, just kind of a couple of operators switching between in Mocking and WTG, and it seems like it's paying them dividends just to stick to what they have been doing and what they know has worked this evening.
Yeah, that Monty coming out again, like you say. I think Ouroboros they've come into overtime and just seem to feel like they need to change everything up and really try and confuse Forze, but I can only sort of think they've almost confused themselves. Sometimes they've got to 5-all playing the operators they've been playing, and sometimes you've just got to stick with that. So we see an aggressive run out there from Vitalin, just getting the kill onto Heisenberg, so that's the Twitch off the board, but it does get traded out by Corey on the Blackbeard, and that leaves us 4v4 in this match point round.
Good early exchange there, and it just shows that how much these teams want it, going for early run-outs, just trying to gain that little bit of an advantage. But I think it's on Ouroboros now to really, push this smart and make sure that they can try and get the bomb down. But there we go, Corey picking up the kill onto WTG, I believe it was. I am going to apologise because I haven't got the kill feed, so I'm going to be, making my best guess at a lot of this, really.
Yes, we've got a 4v2 in favour of Ouroboros, though. As soon as we say that maybe mixing up the attack isn't the right thing, they come through and they're looking in a very good position here. But it's not a site that you see held too often. It can be quite difficult. So we've got Razor and Jackie, Castle and Smoke. They're the final two left. Just taking out that drone, but he's going to have to reposition after that, I'd have thought. And we've got just slow progress from Ouroboros, but they've got all the time in the world to work that Monty inside and start thinking about a plant.
Definitely 4 versus 1 now. Smoke is the operator that you would want to try and deny this to some degree, but Gas Canister's going to come out there and attackers are going to be winning the round.
So that leaves us 1-all out of the first overtime phase and 6-all overall. So that will swap sides. Forze will move on to the attack now, and we will continue looking for a winner by 2 clear rounds. What objective is it looking like? Karaoke Tea Room again with Ouroboros on the defence this time. Seeing a ruck, I think, for the first time tonight, or at least one of the first times. And we've got the Thermite and Ash selected with Blitz coming in. So WTG having done some good work on Blitz previously. Are we going to see that being a decisive factor here?
Definitely. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep track of the in-game chat there. It seems like we've it's Medics that's maybe having a bit of a difficulty with the kill feed. It's not possibly showing up, but at this stage we don't really want to be doing a rehost for that and knocking these players. Yeah, Blitz coming out once again. I think the main thing that's going to pay dividends there is this quick 2-round changeover from going from 5-5 all evening, 5 on 5 off, to go to 2 rounds now is going to be quite a big shock. And again, we're seeing a different operator on Corey. We're seeing him pick the ruck.
Yep, going to be looking out for Mad Mouse in Drum, the Demon of Drum. We've seen it every round that he's played on defence, I think, so far. He's surely going to be looking to get in there. He's been supported by Playday previously, and they've, I think, at least had 1 or 2 kills out of there every single round that they've played in there. So he's surely going to be looking to replicate that.
Absolutely, definitely. And that can be something that plays into a player tendency, but we're going to see the first kill there. And that is going to be Mocking, I believe, off the board. So that's Hibana. I didn't, as we've said, with no scoreboard, so I didn't actually get to see who did that. I'm going to guess that it was maybe, I'm going to give it to Peter, I think. He's had a good night.
We will dish out kills as we see fit.
We're going to dish them out from now on. No, but seriously, based on the gun sound, it did sound like the F-16.
Right, so that's the castle blown and Mad Mouse just forced back, but again you can see he does not want to give up his drum territory. That's his, it has been all night, and he's going to keep holding them off. Blitz just looking to move through, but Mad Mouse just getting them to back off with a few shots there, and he's going to slowly retreat and start moving down those stairs, but I doubt he's going to go too far because he knows that that is where the push is coming from. There's Sophia Blitz as a minimum, and I think we've got another attacker or 2 over there as well.
That long line of sight from Corey there was beautiful. But Corey, then, as I said it, Casterskirt's getting traded out. Vittlin there, I believe that was picking up that kill. But the long line of sight here down into Drum and through Drum was unbelievable on Blitz. Now, I'm not sure how he missed his head. It must have been a bit of a pixel peak. Corey there clicking NS, not sure what that means. But Vital in there is going to be hitting the geisha wall, and that's Joe. He's going to be bearing the brunt of that, laying down. It's always a very effective method, you know, lying down in front of windows. It does often yield kills such as that. Joe there picking up Vitalins. That's going to take us 4 on 3. As we've said, this is overtime, so it is 1-1 at the moment in terms of overtime after the rehost. That's going to be 6-4 in terms of overall round count. Moving into the last minute now, and 4 versus 3.
I have to say the same thing again that we've seen for this site, but a little bit, not quite the same point because we've seen the teams rotated here, so 4's no longer on defence. But again, they're sort of pushing most of the way, and it's just they don't know what that last step is. What is that last step of getting the diffuser down?
This is why I think it's a difficult map. Purely because there's so many crossfires you can create as a defender. And as an attacker, there's so many windows and weird angles. It just makes for a really difficult map to kind of gain any control over, and often a turtle defense is the best defense. WTG getting killed there, and Jackie there also taking a death, so that's going to be 3 on 1 in favour of the defenders. Defenders pick it up. Mad Mouse, I believe, getting the final kill there, and yeah, Mad Mouse getting the final kill there, and against another round of all evens. But it'll be really interesting now to see just where Ouroboros go and where they take us for this defense. It's match point for them now, so they're going to go downstairs to kitchen and barbecue. Interesting
choice, considering that's exactly what Forze did in the same situation and then lost it down there. So, are they going to be able to do anything or achieve differently to Forze when they're trying to close this match out?
Forze there doubling up on the anti-utility operators there with Anna Thatcher. Thermite, Zafir and Hibana bringing up the final 3.
I think it's quite common just to bring Twitch for the gun, as we've commented on earlier, but with a mirror in play, that Twitch can be absolutely vital. Thatcher, I'm not 100% sure what they're too worried about there, but if they're wanting to breach kitchen wall possibly, then definitely if Bandit's down there, Bandit tricking, that would be useful, but yet to see. Joe's actually currently reinforcing upstairs, and yet to see where that push is going to come from. I'm not sure how much benefit there is in opening kitchen wall up really, because I think you just create a bit of a run out on yourself sometimes, so definitely have to wait and see what they do there. But they do have the thermite on the board, so it looks like they're keen to open something up.
Yeah, definitely. We've not seen all too much thermite this evening, despite the fact that Rays pretty much couldn't get off him last week. I do believe that's my observation anyway, I do believe we've not seen that much thermite this evening. We're going to be seeing a sort of tower spawn now. Getting some early drone work down. WTG just figuring out where the hell he is.
Yeah, I just want to see somebody come in here and say, you know, this is our game now, and just really lay claim to it and go and win the round. So for Ouroboros here, I'd like to see maybe some aggressive roam play, maybe a run out, and just, you know, really go and take that round. So as predicted there, Thermite and Thatcher just working together to get that kitchen wall open. The diffuser with Thermite as well, so going to potentially look to get in there and get a plant, but Joe on Bandit will definitely be looking to, and that was a bad sort of late miss from Joe there to allow the mirror to be opened up by Twitch. He was just sort of stood looking at it for a second, and it's going to make him very difficult to watch for that plant now.
Yeah, definitely, and that's where the sort of fatigue level can come in. You know, you've got to keep focused all the time now. You're not just behind your reinforced wall, you're behind your mirror, and if this gets popped, it's going to make it really hard for you to hold Geisha, and that's what we're going to see now. They've managed to get kitchen wall open, and got a bit of a skirmish there, but I think Joe manages to get the first kill there onto Vitalin, and I believe it was Joe, possibly it was Corey, but they've opened up a lot of karaoke as well, which has made that window very easy to watch, that single window into karaoke. Razor's in a bit of no man's land there at the top of back stairs, and Heisenberg probably aware of him, but just waiting. Maybe toss a C4 up and see what he can do.
Yep. Is he going to get... Oh, he just doesn't peek far enough, but Heisenberg just waiting patiently there. If he can get one kill from this location, I'd say he's done his job there. That'll leave them 5-on-3 potentially. The defender's doing a very good job of stopping the attackers getting in upstairs. Heisenberg there, as we said, time to rotate maybe. He doesn't know that the Thermite's above him. I'm not 100% sure he does, and that could lead to the call out going out to Razor, and what's he going to do about it? But we've got Corey, Joe, and Heisenberg just keeping upstairs, and there's that run out that I wanted to see. Just taking another one off the board. That leaves us on a 3v1. Hibana and WTG has it all to do. Diffuser is down, and this could surely be it for Ouroboros now. WTG taking the damage from the Toxic Bay there. We've got smoke on one hit, and in comes the final kill. That's Heisenberg getting the kill onto WTG. Ouroboros win that on overtime. It finishes 8-6.
What an evening, and what a good finish for the for that matchup. I think towards the end, Ouroboros was certainly the more dominant team, and definitely a well-deserved win. Apologies about some of the issues towards the latter